You have your artist name, please?
Be Easy.
If you wanna stay in touch with me, fair to say that none of you can fuck with me. Opinions never meant that much to me. Don't tell them to be, just keep them right.
Okay, so how did you get started in music, man?
So, my beginnings in music is kind of started when I was really young. So, my dad was a DJ and he had a radio show. He was one of the founders of Black FM Radio. So that was a pirate radio show that used to run in St. Paul's back in the day, like in the 80s still. So I think it started in the 80s anyway, around them times there. And yeah, it ran for a good couple of years, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, my dad was a DJ, so I always had access to music like early, you know what I'm saying? And I think I recorded my first, so I wrote my first song when I was like 14, and that was just like everyone else really. You listen to American artists, like you listen to a song loads of times, you learn the rhymes, and then you write your own to that beat in it, you know what I'm saying? So so that's how mine started. But I recorded my first like song, I think I was 15, and a guy I knew at the time introduced me to Crazy Still, and took me to his house, and he had like he had a studio like in his room, like built inside the wardrobe, innit? So you go in the wardrobe and the booth is in there, like old school, you see what I'm saying? So so that's what I recorded my first song, and then from there, like at the same time I was learning music production, so I used to go to what was Colston Hall, and they had this like youth program called The Basement that ran on the evening time still. So mum would go there, and I learned self-taught, like Reason. So they had Reason set up on computers there, and I would go there. I remember the guy's name, I think his name is Jason, and I think he still works there now, that's how mad it is. So I would go there, kind of teach myself how to use Reason, and then if I wanted to do a specific thing, I'd ask him like, how do you do this, how do you do that? So I started to make beats, and then that's kind of how I became like, well, how I started to become Be Easy, so I'm saying.
Okay, cool. So you mentioned your dad was a DJ. You've got quite a vast family history within Bristol, so can you address that a little bit for me, please?
Yeah, so my dad's Jamaican, like his family's Jamaican, so they came over in the Windrush era, like a lot of families. So they were like, I think they were the second black family to move on to Lockleys Road at the time, because when people were coming over from Jamaica and they came to Bristol, that's kind of the area that people went to if you were like of that origin. So he was the youngest of four, so he was the first one to be born here in England, whereas his older brothers and sisters were born in Jamaica, but they all came over, and obviously my grandma was pregnant with my dad when they came over, so or got pregnant, should I say, when they came over. So my granddad was Jim Williams, so in SP, like they know him, innit? Like he owned the St. Nick's pub. He was the first black Lord Mayor that Bristol have had of Afro-Caribbean descent from 1990 to 1991. So, and my auntie, rest in peace, Carol Williams, she was like Lady Mayoress, but she also did a lot of youth work in the Adventure Playground. So she used to run Felix Road Adventure Playground over in Easton, and obviously that would then have links with St. Paul's Adventure Playground, and she would organise youth trips and all kind of things to basically keep us man out of badness, innit? You see what I'm saying? Like, and my dad is well, he was a social worker still, and he kind of specifically dealt with young kids of colour that were considered to be too bad by the system, and helped a lot of people, like still does, like, so that's kind of the legacy from the city perspective, like that.
Okay, cool. So you mentioned your dad was a DJ. Was he a producer DJ, or was he somebody who just went from the clubs DJ?
Yeah, so he was a club DJ, and like he was big, like HQ, they all knew him, like he was, because at the time everyone was kind of from his era, should I say, his generation, they were all playing like reggae and dancehall and dubstep. Well, dubstep was coming in, but yeah, like dancehall, ragga, reggae, they was all playing that. Whereas he played like soul, R&B, like, but when it was first coming out, you see what I'm saying? So obviously he introduced a lot of music to the city. Like, for example, like Mary J. Blige, when she came out, he had a connection with Soundsville Records, yeah? Soundsville Records used to be on Gloucester Road.
Yeah, I remember.
And Roger, I think his name was Roger, pretty sure. But yeah, he had connects with all A&Rs from like Def Jam and Universal, Sony, like all that. So he used to get the white labels on vinyl, innit? And like my dad would go in there every week, and the A&Rs used to come to the shop to meet my dad to give him the songs and like basically get his opinion. Like, do you think this is? How do you think this is? How do you think this will be received? You know what I'm saying? So he was like big like that. And obviously at the time, for those who don't know, like Def Jam was started by Russell Simmons, but it didn't start in America. He started it in Amsterdam. You know what I'm saying? And my dad's friend lived in Amsterdam, and my dad was always in Amsterdam all the time from when he was quite young. So he used to DJ there as well as here. So he had those connections. So, but yeah, I guess you would call him a club DJ. But like I said, he had the radio show, and he's DJ with like what's his name? Russell Nelson. Like before Russell Nelson was what he is now.
Yeah, cool,
like,
yeah.
He used to DJ with my dad.
Wow.
He used to DJ with, I can't even say his name, but he was on One Extra. He's been a bit disgraced lately.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, we're not going there.
but before that, before he was
Wow.
lots of big DJs like that you can name, like he DJ with them or worked with them at events and stuff. So yeah.
That's mad. But that's still, so you were around, did you ever get to mix with these people?
Nah, because I was young at the time,
Okay.
innit? Like, I was...
So you went on the road with your dad or anything?
Nah, I was too young.
Okay.
Like, I was too young them times there, like, just born kind of thing.
Okay.
But I just remember it, like, because it was mad. Them times there, people would record radio shows on cassette tapes, innit? So my mum would record a cassette tape and play it, and I just remember hearing all different kind of songs, like, and American songs that weren't popular here yet. I'd hear them a few weeks before, and that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, interesting. So how did you end up as a lyricist rather than a DJ? Because that's what your dad did. Because a lot of people, like the kids, tend to aspire to be what their dad was being. So how did you not follow into DJing today? You became a lyricist instead.
I'll be honest, yeah. Like, I love playing music, but the reason why I didn't become a DJ, so I did get DJ decks and that when I got a bit older, like, but I feel like I always felt like I took music too personal to play it to a crowd. Like, for example, when you're a DJ, you got to play songs that people want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I want to play songs what I want to hear, and if you don't like it, I don't really care. Innit? You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you have that mentality, you can't really become a DJ. But also because like I've always done poetry. Like when I was in school, how old was I then? Probably 14.
Wow.
I won this big poetry competition they had the award ceremony in Taunton and all that. Like, so I've always been into like creative writing, innit?
Okay.
And and then musically, like, because I was starting to learn to produce and stuff, it would be a thing where I would want to eventually express the poetry like on a beat, innit? Whereas, like I said, I felt like at the time being a DJ was a bit limited for me. And yeah, it's weird, like I always knew I wanted to be a rapper, and that was before they were even really a thing.
Okay.
Like there was a few rappers out obviously, but as I was young and I was growing up and I would hear different things, I just knew that was something that I wanted to do.
Interesting. So who would have been like the first influence, not so much in rap, but you decided, yeah, I'm gonna put pen to paper now and really start trying to do this?
Yeah, so I guess musically, like the oldest song I can remember hearing, like my mum was like a big reggae head. So like Lot's Wife and all these other old reggae songs, yeah?
Yeah.
Obviously Bob Marley was always played in my house. What's his name? Marvin Gaye was always played in my house. Earth, Wind and Fire, like my dad was a big fan of them. Like, so you have that, but I guess rap, the first person I ever heard rap on a rap song was LL Cool J still. And again, that was like when Def Jam first started, and my dad had a copy of the Bad album before it was like pressed. He had a white label or something. And then after that, I remember hearing Biggie Smalls still, because my dad used to like him, and so obviously that's a big jump there. And as I got older, I started to research the other people in between, but those were like the first two people I heard. And then, but it's funny you say pen to paper, because I never did that. Yeah, so
I was gonna get to that.
I remember, it's weird as well when I tell the story. So I remember watching this Jay-Z documentary, yeah. And this was before he's like
big.
Yeah. Well, he was big, but not like he is now.
Before he was Jay-Z, Hov then, right?
Before he was Hov, like he was Jigga then, really. Yeah. So I think he had I think Reasonable Doubt was out, and he just had Hard Knock Life had just come out. So obviously that was the big transition for him.
Yeah, that's when he popped. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Life and Trials of Sean Carter, that was that album.
Okay.
So that had just come out, and they did a documentary about him still. And I remember he said, like, he didn't write his rhymes because he didn't have time. Like, he was always outside on the roads doing whatever. So he would just have to remember it because he didn't have paper and that when he was outside. And before then, I'd never really written like a song. But after I watched that documentary, I was thinking, well, if man could do that, then it must be doable, innit? So I went upstairs, played some instrumentals, and I just made the song like in my head, and I remembered it like. So it's different, and what I'll say is, it's different from freestyling. So a freestyle is usually something
that comes to you, innit?
that you can just freestyle off your head and words will come together. But I'm talking about making a song, like structuring a song, formulating a song bar by bar until you've got a whole song, a whole verse, a whole chorus, the bridge, like everything. You see what I'm saying? And I just, because I feel like because that's how I started doing it, it's just something that I continue to do. And like there people make comparisons and like say, oh, you just say that because but no, that's just how I did it. But it was inspired by him because, like I said, I watched a documentary and that's how I did it. But I feel like if I was to write it down, like once you've written it down, it's left your head then, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So yeah, I'm of the thought process of. So I had this discussion with a couple of the Royal Life guys the other day. A lot of guys go into the studio with their phones, or Whisk, for example, carrying his laptop. But so I was saying to them, I prefer artists like yourself who will go into the booth and they just notice that it's not on a phone, that you'll feel it more. You're more passionate about it. Like if you see Skinny Man in the studio, he hasn't got the pad out. He's rapping. His eyes are closed. He's there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, I'll tell you why. And this is not a knock to anyone who writes down their rhymes. I'm not telling people how to do whatever.
Of course
I'm just saying, like, if you're reading from something, you're concentrating on reading those words. Whereas when I go in the studio, like, I'm only concentrating on delivery. I don't have to think about what I'm saying because it's already in my head. So it's just like. And this is just advice for any artist, yeah. Even if you are someone who writes down your rhymes, yeah, before you go studio, learn your song, innit?
Yeah, man.
Because
memorize it.
And another reason why I kind of memorized my raps is because I had to pay for studio time, yeah. So when I go studio time, I'm not trying to be there doing the verse over and over. You can ask anyone I've been in the booth with. I do my thing one time.
You're in and out pretty much.
Yeah, and yes, obviously, I want to go back over and do a specific part to make it sound.
Shoots, you're done in this space.
Yeah,
right now, right.
But I know it because the thing is, when you go in studio, if you're paying for studio time, that's your money, bro. Like, I didn't have no sponsors.
Same with videographers and all that.
Yeah,
that's
so
your time, bro.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, you can go in the studio and know all your songs and record 3 songs, or you can read one off your phone.
Exactly that, and go over it again and again till you've got the right pitch.
You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like. I love the NWA documentary, like where
Easy's being taught it.
Yeah, well, not being taught. He's punching a line at a time, bro. I ain't got that time. Like real talk, I don't have that kind of time to be punching a line at a time. And like Dre was patient with him.
Very.
When I used to go studios, bro, engineers they're not sitting there where you punch a line at a time.
Like that.
That's long, bro.
Like that. Out.
But it's just people do things different ways, innit? But like I said, because I've never written them down, it don't make sense to start now. But at the same time, like, I'm not just a rapper. I do songwriting, I do production, and when I write songs for other people, I write them down. But they start in my head. You see what I'm saying? So
So you mentioned before we start getting into more into music, you mentioned you're into Marvin Gaye and other artists like that. Your mum and dad would play. So how would you say that inspired the music that you make now? If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I do. So I feel like, in terms of the music I make now, I feel like those influences, specifically the soul and like the jazzy ones, the bluesy type ones, they influence my music in a sense of, there's always like an element of empathy or melody in my song. So maybe not necessarily in my voice, but when I make the beat, like I make sure that I incorporate that element of feeling. Like it's not just a hard hip hop beat, and there ain't nothing wrong with that, of course.
No, cool,
and I don't just mean hip hop beat. It's not just a hard banging, I guess, traditional urban beat, like just mad drums and mad snares and mad bass, and like mine incorporates melody and different chords that will probably, you might not have even considered that someone might rap on it. Obviously it's kind of like to a certain tempo, or maybe it's got a certain style, so the drums kick a certain way, but someone could sing on it just as easily as I rap on it, basically.
100, absolutely.
So it influences in that. And I also think like listening to different kinds of music gives you perspective on what you make, because I feel like as a rapper myself, unless it's someone I really like, I don't listen to a lot of rap. I'll be honest, like I mostly listen to R&B.
I'm in the car with you, don't put rap on.
You know what I'm saying? Like I mostly listen to R&B, not just because women are in my car a lot, but because I just prefer it. Like I prefer the melodies and that style of expression, even though I'm a rapper, and that kind of sounds weird, but yeah, I think like the beats on R&B are probably more complex than some of the rap. But obviously, like I said, if Jay-Z drops an album, please believe that I'm playing it front to back to forth. If 50 drops an album, front to back. If D.E.E. drops an album, if Kano drops an album, when Gets drops his album, like there's certain people.
When Gig's new one comes out, like
see Git. Oh, anyway, we'll get into that. But when them man they drop albums, yeah, that I leave space, like because I need to hear what them man they got to say and what beats them man have done. Same like even Digger, Unknown T, enough man. Like I rate them. J Hus. When Dave drops his album, there's space. Do you understand?
So the new Jules Santana thing dropped, that's going to be...
Bro, because Wayne, even though I don't really like his last project, but
still...
when certain man drop albums, I listen. Even certain local man, yeah? When Pine drops his thing, I listen to it. When Elias drops his thing, I listen to it. When Dash drops his thing, I listen to it. Yeah? Wish, obviously, when he drops his thing, I listen to it. Whisk.
Anybody really, yeah, man.
Bro, Hearts. Like when man drop their things, I listen to it because I rate them things. You see what I'm saying? Calais as well, same thing. Like when certain man that I grew with, and I don't mean like we knew each other from day. I mean when certain man that I grew with musically that were progressing at the same time as me. When them man they drop music, I listen to it because I love. You know what I'm saying? And like I do love the scene as well as the outside scene.
Yeah, I think that's something that we all know. There's a certain part people think that we don't rate the scene. Everyone is a fan of the scene. Yeah. But people like to cause drama between each other.
See, the thing with the scene, yeah, it's like everyone has their own perspective on what it is and what it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Too many chefs, bro. You know?
Yeah. Whereas I just feel like I said, there's enough people I rate, not just the ones I mentioned, but there's other people.
There's too many.
And the irony is there's no scene without those people.
A lot of the people that we mentioned are foundation artists as well, so it's not like these guys have just popped up.
Yeah, bro.
Like, look at Wish. Wish was Death Wish at one point. You know, I mean, now he's Wishmaster.
They make music, like they've been making music, like
for long before he even had OR, before Gilly created all that. Like they would just run around doing their thing anyway.
Yeah,
just Ellis, Wish, and Dash and Pine was.
So
and everyone was collaborating too. And like,
yeah, and the thing is, like, I just feel like everyone does their thing. Everyone has a place, innit? You know what I'm saying? And as far as the scene being a certain way, I'll be honest, probably every scene is like
every
that.
scene's like every scene that I go to when I mention their music scene, they all say the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it is the thing, and obviously it gets techie because you see when you rap as well, yeah.
It's competitive, isn't it?
It is. It's a competitive sport, bro. It's not. It's like boxing, bro.
Yeah.
You don't play boxing.
No, you don't play rapping.
You're a warrior, innit? Like, and that's not nothing to do with your content, like what you talk about, like whether you're like a roadman or whatever. Like when you rap, innit? So like you're expressing it in a certain way. Like it can be aggressive, it can be happy, it can be. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, and I'll be honest. If you're a rapper and you don't feel like you're the best, you're wasting your time, bro.
Exactly. Everyone should feel
like you're supposed to feel like you're the best at what you do, and that no one could do what you do the way that you do it. That's not to say that other men are not good, though.
No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means to me, right? The scene is hungry, but the way the hunger is portrayed is misplaced.
It is, and the thing is, I'll be honest, like, I watched Ellis's interview that you had on here, and he said it's about your output, isn't it? Basically, like you never know which song is gonna take you there. You never know which project is gonna. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you're stuck in one way to make music or to release music or whatever, like you got to try different things all the time because the reality is no one has made it yet. And when I say made it, everyone has their own version of what that means.
But I'm talking about you're in the industry, you're making money, you bought a house off of this.
Everyone has their own view of success, but when I say made it, I mean there's no one from the scene that is just rapping and that's their source of income.
Yeah,
that's then led to them retiring their parents or
buying them houses.
Yeah,
like, you're not
do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's not a knock at anyone because I'm part of this thing as well. But it's just to say that
you're at a certain level of success, but you haven't blown.
Yeah,
you know.
But it's just to say that A, you have to know where you are and be realistic about it, and B, there's no one way in it. Like what works for a next man won't work for me because my content's different. Yeah. The way I do things is different. Like the way I am as a person is different. Like, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't just rap. Like I do songwriting, I do production. Like last year, obviously, I produced the music for Boardmasters through yourself. I produced the music for the Bristol fashion show. Like there's other things that I do
on the side people don't realise about
that people don't really clock, but I don't need them to clock it, I'll be honest, because I'm building my portfolio, I'm doing what I do, but it's important for people to know that I'm not just any one thing, because I feel like rappers get stuck with that sometimes.
A lot of us, I mean, I've got a stack of them, but like NDAs also, so sometimes we can't even speak.
Yeah, bro, and I've got that too.
Yeah,
like there's certain things like you get your royalties, you get your publishing, you get your P's, and there's no conversation after that. And if you break that, you got to pay back money, bro.
Yeah, there's things that I've seen on TV or like adverts that I know I've worked on. Like, I can't even tell if I did that.
And you know it's the same like with the music. Sometimes
I've seen your stuff.
The music's just there, and you'll say, and you'll see the name, and you'll be like, oh, but I can't say nothing because you know what I'm saying. So, but that's what I mean. It's like there's no one way to do it. It's just like you got to do what works for you, innit? So
100%. That's a good way to lead to another question actually. So a lot of people do think there only seems to be like you've got to do it this way. So a lot of guys, in my opinion, people tend to go with. So I'll make the track on whatever. I'll put it on Bandcamp and YouTube, do a video, done, and then that'll be it. Where like, the reason I like guys like Merv, even though he's done that too, he then took it to battle rap platforms. And now he's taking it into football and he's talking a lot about football and doing football reviews on his Facebook. So now he's giving us a reason to check him out and he's becoming like, instead of just being Merv the rapper, he's now becoming Merv the personality. So I like that kind of thing. So what I'm asking you is, how do you get yourself from just being the rapper to being, to finding the path you want to be on? So you were, like I said, you were just a rapper. But to me, you're not a rapper. You're a guy who raps, but you're a producer, you're a director, you're a songwriter. You do a bunch of different stuff. You're involved in artist development and management. Yeah. So how do you just go from breaking that rapper bubble, as it were, or persona, to being the person?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I'll be honest, you have to put yourself in environments where you're not comfortable in it. Like, so for example, I'll go to like music events, like, but as an executive, like, so I won't go wearing my tracksuit. There ain't nothing wrong with going wearing a tracksuit, but I'm saying, when I go certain places, like where there's label heads or if there's an event happening, I'll wear like trousers and a blazer and shoes, and like there'll be people in there that know you, and they'll be surprised, like, wow, I've not seen you like in this like arena before, like, or in this like looking the way you look. But then at the same time, you'll meet new people that have never met you before, and as you know, first impressions mean a lot, innit? So, and as long as you like, you know what you're talking about, and you can like portray yourself in that character, and that's the thing. I'll be honest. All these things are characters. Like when you're the executive, that's the character. Like when you're the producer, it's a character. Yeah. When you're producing someone else in the studio, it's a character. When you're songwriting, it's a character. When you're a director, whatever, like
maybe character's wrong word, maybe persona.
Maybe, but I feel like I say character because a character is something that you adopt when you're in the environment.
That's true.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's like I can wear many hats depending on what is required of me in that moment. You see what I'm saying? So it's not. I know what you mean. Character maybe is not the word, but it's an extension of me. But it's just a different format depending on where I am in it. So, and you have to convince people. People don't just believe you. Please believe. They don't just take your word for it. So it's like,
show up.
And you have to do free work. Like, so let me explain, yeah? Knowing your value, and we will get to that in a bit, because that's knowing your value and recognizing your value has been something of a journey for me, and it has kind of changed my relationships with people because of that. But what I'm saying in this context is you have to know your value, but you also have to know your value in the industry you're in. So for example, yeah, I went to one music event where they're looking for music for games, yeah. So you submit your thing and you put your price, how much you want to get paid. I put 0 on my price, and that's what got me the gig. And I'll tell you why. So the man rang me and he was like, did you complete the form wrong? Because you've submitted the song, but you've not put a price like on how much you want to get. And I said to him, I don't want money up front. I want royalties, my publishing, because I own my publishing. Because I know my business, innit? So I own my publishing. But the reason why I put 0 as a value is because I've never made a song for a game before. So in your industry, I have no value because I've not done that before. Whereas if I do this for you and everyone sees that my song is on this game, or even if they don't see it, when I go to apply again, I can put a value on it because I've done a song for a game. Just like first time when Will hit me up and he was like, can you give me some music for this festival I'm doing, but there's no budget because I'm not getting paid either, but it's good to build your portfolio. So I just send man a bag of songs and he puts them in, boom, boom. When we go next time now, when he goes to the next festival, whether it's Glastonbury, whatever, he can say, boom, I have a budget, but you need to give me budget to pay the music man because he's done this, and my fee is this, because I've done these things, I've earned my stripes. So that's what I mean about knowing your value, but also knowing your value in the market, innit? You see what I'm saying?
That one's there, bro. So what you're talking about there is sync placements. That's the market that
and licensing your music like to things that are not necessarily music related, but they'll be in a film or in a game or like in a documentary, whatever.
It's basically music for a visual project. Basically. This is also Crush hit me up asking about these libraries and stuff. So I'm glad you brought this up so we can get into it a little bit. So as you say, there's different avenues like for rappers, for artists, for musicians, whatever. And I think sync placements is way more important than worrying about getting into charts or getting on big stages or anything like that. If you're getting your music played in massive movies like that, your value is way higher than you're going to be on the main stage.
Put it this way, I'll give you an example, of sync placement, 50 Cent, right, obviously is a big TV executive now,
massive.
He doesn't release albums anymore, but he does the theme song to all of his shows, all the Ghost shows, the Tommy Show, Power, like all the Power shows in the Power universe, he does the theme song for, So you can look at it like, okay, man doesn't release an album, but his shows are on every week. So every week, say 2 million people tune in to his weekly episodic series, So that's 2 million views he gets every week because they play the title song at the beginning of every show. So then every time you watch it on playback, every time you stream it, that's royalties, and
Every
that's
time
what's
you hear
sync.
clips on the radio, adverts on the TV,
Bro, and that's sinking, and he already owns it, so he's caking anyway. But that is like, charting is good, obviously, but then you have to be realistic. How many people chart?
Not many, bro.
And how many people chart for like more than... Okay, say for Power, for example, yeah? Those series, there's 8 episodes in a series, so for 8 weeks, basically, that's running. So if your song's on that thing at the beginning, that's 8 weeks that 2 million people are watching your thing, yeah? How many people chart for 8 weeks? Right now.
Nobody, bro. You're
with a song. Like, I can't even remember, apart from Drake, you can't talk about him, his chart is different.
He went past...
Yeah, but apart from... And this is my point then. If you're not on that level, if you're not an Adele or a Beyonce or a Drake... I don't know if he'll chart that long right now. But,
I mean, but if I'm saying that, if he dropped an album...
But real talk, musically, Kanye is different. But anyway...
Same as Eminem, Drake...
Yeah, but unless you're in that top tier, you're not charting for 8 weeks. No. And that's what I'm saying. So placement... Plus, I'll tell you, as a rapper, yeah, placements are sometimes better. And I'll tell you why. Obviously, certain man from Bristol got their... song in FIFA, innit?
Yep, Gardner and Ems.
Yeah, right? I rate that, you know.
I do as well.
And I'll tell you why, because man love FIFA. And man play FIFA how often?
Every day.
And this is my point.
For hours.
The point I'm trying to make is, as a rapper, if you get your song in syncing, you get less hate from other people in your thing, because most of them don't know about it, or they hear it and they'll be like, that sounds like my man, but I don't know because you can't see the track listing. So it's like, you can make more money and have less of the thing if you sync music and put it in certain things in it. So
especially with gaming, because like especially people play FIFA all day. So
and COD,
your tune's getting played over and over and over. You get stuck in your head, you know.
And think did you know how many songs that I would never ever listen to if they were on FIFA?
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even heard it.
Yeah, same with NBA, same with COD.
Any game, bro.
War, like
wrestling games, anything.
Bro, anything that you play, yeah, if you can get your music into that, like, you know what I'm saying, is. And the difference is, you don't have to wait long for your royalties, because EA and all these big companies,
they pay straight.
One thing with the mute, they pay you
straight away. So they'll make an evaluation of how many people are going to buy the game and how people are going to be playing, how much you're going to get paid.
Or if you're smart, you negotiate a deal where you get it per play, and that's when you're But I only know that because I've gone through certain things business wise, and now I know like how to maneuver that.
Since on this music business conversation, let's get onto the PRS, because there's a lot of artists that don't have this, mainly because they don't own the music. But that's a different side of the story.
Yeah. So
PRS. Let's talk about the importance of that.
So PRS. So I'm not gonna go into it too much because I've got on my TikTok channel, I do these small videos about the importance of PRS and knowing your music business and how to operate your contracts in the studio and that. So I won't go into it too much, but check out my TikTok at Be Easy Wins on TikTok, and I got a few videos on that. But basically the importance of it is you need to have it, because when you make a song, you should be registering that song with PRS, so that basically they'll collect your royalties for you, because it's not really something you can do. It has to be done by an organisation, innit? So PRS, if your song gets played on radio, you get money. If it gets played in certain venues, you get money, and they'll collect it for you and they pay out at different times. But yeah, check out my TikTok thing and you'll see. But it's important to know your business, so we'll talk about the business, that side of it. It's important to know music business before or as you're kind of building your portfolio or your craft, innit? Yeah. Because if you're waiting for your manager to teach you the business, he's not going to do that, because it's not in his it's not in their interest to teach you that, because they get 25% of what you're earning based on what they know and what you don't, innit? So most people have a manager, like they'll negotiate their contracts for them, they'll advise them on good deals to do and the splits and what they should get. But if you don't know, that's what I'm saying. I watched what's his name? You know Teddy Riley? I watched his interview the other day, and he had a manager, and I'm not trying to knock no one, I'm just giving you an example, yeah, because Teddy Riley was like a child prodigy, like he was producing for people from young, like Keith Sweat and all these people, like he was from Harlem, innit, so he was in the mix with the man them, like, but he was producing for people for long, but he didn't know the business, so he had a manager that would go to like Sony would give man like 200 grand for Teddy Riley's session where he's producing songs, and give Riley 10 grand. But because my man don't even know how much the label's giving you on your budget, he's thinking, well, I'm like 10 grand is big for me. Yeah, but not when the next man is taking 190. That's mad. And this is what I'm saying, it's like, you'll have a longer career if you learn your business, and you haven't got to pay for courses and that. Like, now you've got YouTube and TikTok and all these things. Bro, all the information is there. Like, it's there for you, innit? Like I said, I do these miniature series on my TikTok, so you can check it out. But it's not just me, there's loads of people that know stuff, and people are more accessible now. Like, so there's loads of information now, you can learn business and just learn the basics. You haven't got to learn everything. But then at least that way, when you work with a manager or a business manager, you know a certain level so that they can't really rip you off, and they'll know that too, you know what I'm saying?
So since we're on that, because I love this conversation about maybe not so much bad managers, but recognising when you need one, why you need one, and what a manager is expected to do, and what you should be doing as an artist as well. So
yeah, that's a good one. So I guess I'll start with what you should be doing as an artist, yeah? It's not a manager's job to help you to maintain your relevance, innit? Yeah. So in this digital world now, like, and this is something I've learned and I've had to learn, and I'm still learning, yeah, because I'm someone who's like, I don't really like to necessarily reveal too much about myself. I like the mystery side to the artistry, but we live in a world where people want access to not just the music and the art that you create, but the person behind that, innit? So it's your responsibility to maintain your relevance when you're not releasing music. So if you're someone who drops a project every year, that's cool, and that was me for a long time. I've always dropped music. But if there's nothing in between that keeps people kind of like attracted to you or interested in you, that's not your manager's job, that's your job. Like, so you have to think of creative ways to engage your audience and build your audience. And obviously there's bare ways to do that now. Even if you're, like, for me it's not ever something I would do, but if you're someone who wants to go out in like town and set up a speaker and busk and sing songs and all that, do that. Like, if I was a singer, that's what I would do. Yeah, sure. Swear down.
I see Johnny Dark doing that now, and he's getting booked at festivals.
Yeah, and like, it's not my thing, but like I said, it's like, I'm not against it. It's just
it works.
But it works, innit? You know what I'm saying? And like, obviously now that you've got TikTok and we've got Instagram and all these things, you can create like weekly shows. You can create 2 weekly shows, monthly shows. You can be very creative and show people pieces of your character, innit? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to do things like that. In terms of what you should expect from a manager, I would say, unless you have to build your buzz, like build interest in you, you probably don't need a manager straight away. And I'll be honest, like, I've had a few managers. I manage myself now because, yeah, it's long. But I had a few managers earlier in my career before I should have had them. And it's like I had to learn that having one before you need one just becomes a burden, because you've got an extra person that's in your thing that they need to eat, innit? You see what I'm saying? Or they'll have expectations of you that you're not necessarily ready for. So what I would say is you don't need a manager until you get into a place where you're getting booked for a lot of shows, where you're being approached by sponsors, or if you're ready to do a deal. If you're ready to do a deal with a major, yeah, you need a manager for that. Unless you already know about your business, but you need a manager. Obviously, you need an entertainment lawyer, and that, in fact, that's the two main things you need. When you're ready to do serious deals in this music thing, yeah, you need an entertainment lawyer and you need a manager. The entertainment lawyer is more important, if I'm honest. But as your career grows, you need a manager. And obviously there are stories where you've, like Stormzy for example, his manager is someone he grew up with, like one of his brethren and that, you know what I'm saying? And that does work. But you need a manager who is as passionate about your craft as you are, yeah? You need a manager who can go out into the industry, operate respectfully with integrity, build relationships and provide opportunity for you. So for example, if you've just signed a deal, yeah, you want a manager that can go out and get you a mad sponsorship with like Nike or Puma and be in those adverts, or get you on Soccer AM if you love football or whatever it is, or if you love fashion, get you on Fashion Week. Like, you need a manager that will get you in positions that will further your interest and further your opportunities, basically. And that's what a manager should do. But it depends what kind of manager you have as well. If your manager's your business partner, again, he or she will be more invested in your success because they'll make a piece of everything that you do. But at the same time, you need to have a manager that's going to hold you to account as an artist for the things that you need to do, innit?
So yeah, that's another good point about different types of managers. So I've done a lot of work with management when I was working with Music Network in the weekends and stuff, and I'm learning about that. And sometimes you even need a manager. Sometimes you just need a PR agent, a booking agent, and then like your accountant, basically someone who handles the money. So sometimes a manager isn't even necessary. You just need to know what works for you. So some people don't even have managements; they just have agents in places.
Yeah, like, and obviously it just depends. But what I would say is that when you get to a certain point, you need a manager, because you need a manager to manage all of those people that you just said.
Exactly.
Like your booking agent, your PR, your marketing, like, and obviously marketing strategy, your accountant. But I'll be honest, when it comes to your accountant as an artist, you're supposed to have the strongest relationship with your accountant, because please believe me, and there's bare examples like obviously N-Dubs and all that money, like, but if you don't pay your taxes, bro, if you're earning big money, yeah, obviously there's a certain threshold. If you're earning under that, they don't care. But if you're earning big money and you're not paying tax, yeah, they'll take everything, bro, everything, because they can. And like, in any country you go to, I swear down, HMRC, IRS in America, whatever, please believe, if you don't pay your tax, they will come for you. They will audit you. They will charge you. You can go to prison. Sure. They can take your house. They can take everything. So what I would say is, like I said, make sure you've got an accountant that is good, and don't ever be afraid to get another accountant to audit your accountant. Swear down. Absolutely. That's a 100. You see what I'm saying? Like, the money, when you're earning serious money, there's serious consequences to not paying your tax. 100%. You see what I'm saying? So let's talk about like the different types of deals that you can be signing. So obviously you signed a distribution deal, considering to what people would say is signing a deal. So let's go with, first explain the distribution deal was. That was the wutang gig, right? Yeah. So the distribution deal, it was better for me, but it's only because of what I knew. So basically, I guess there's different deals you can do. You can do like a 360 deal, which never really appealed to me, but I can see how it could appeal to you. So a 360 deal is basically when you sign to usually a major label. You can do independent ones, but there's no point really. Like, sign to a major 360, so they'll provide lots of opportunity for you, but they'll take a piece of everything. So when you record songs and release it, they take a piece. When you do a show or a live show, they take a piece. Merchandise, they take a piece. Interview, placements, everything that you do, they're entitled to a piece of it. So if you're a new artist, yeah, and a label's developed you, there is value in doing a 360, because having a 360 deal is better than having no deal. But it just depends how long you're in that deal. So you would want to negotiate it down to like 1 or 2 years if you can, because you don't want to be in that forever. Yeah. But then there's other deals where you have like a distribution deal, which is what I had with Wu-Tang, and that's basically where you have to pay for stuff yourself. So like the recording of the project, the artwork, the mix, the mastering, the marketing, you have to pay for that yourself, and then they'll distribute it for you like in their global distribution network. But because you paid for a lot of things yourself, you get a higher percentage of the return in it. So like the best distribution deal ever had in the business was held by two people. So first of all, it was Michael Jackson. Yeah, he was the first guy to have like a distribution deal, which I think he was like getting 70% or something dumb like that. And this is like when Michael was big. You see what I'm saying? And then the other deal that happened after that was Master P. So Master P was signed as I think he was probably one of the only solo artists at the time to be signed to Priority Records. So Priority Records signed NWA, Ice Cube, and all them man like at the time. But his deal, Master P's deal was like, I think it was 80-20. So he kept 80% of all the albums that he sold, and they only kept 20 because he was doing everything, like all the marketing, all the production, video, everything. But then in 1 year, I think he put out like 15 albums, and they all went gold. Do you understand? So 80% return on all of those things, and he still kept publishing, and you maintain control of your it's dumb. And that was when people were buying physical copies. So if you're selling each album for $14.99, whatever, the return is dumb. But it just depends. Certain deals will suit you better than. And what I would advise is that there's a term in contracts. Yeah, it's called perpetuity. Yeah. Never sign anything that says in perpetuity. In perpetuity means forever. Do you understand? So if you sign a deal that's got perpetuity in it and it's not in your favour, it don't matter what happens after. You'll either be owned by someone, piece of your art will be owned by someone, or piece of your money will go to someone forever. But I would advise that you sign deals that are like as less time as possible, so that you can renegotiate and all that stuff.
Interesting. Alright, cool. So let's go off this business chat for a bit, because we've got quite into that. Let's get a bit more personal with it. So you've been an artist now for years, like over a decade, right?
Yeah.
So in that time you've obviously had a daughter. How old is your daughter now?
So my daughter's 10 now.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So how has it been trying to work on your career, handle a full-time job as well so you can provide for your daughter and be a father at the same time?
Yeah, so obviously I'm in a co-parenting scenario, so my daughter's with me like half the week, and then she's with her mum the other half, so like single dad, single mum type thing. But to be fair, like me and her mum, we have a good relationship in it. Like it's good, like, and it's focused on our daughter in it. So I want to say that. But I'll be honest, it's like it's balance, innit? It's all a balancing act. So I don't know. Obviously, I can't really say whether it's been harder or not, because I can only speak to my circumstance. But it just means that like you have to get things right, innit? So yeah, like you said, full-time working to sponsor the dream, but then also to sponsor life. And you know, it's not cheap to live right now. You see what I'm saying? So it's things like that make things a bit more difficult. But I guess I've learned ways to like I said, balance it. To be honest, I don't sleep that much, which helps. You see what I'm saying? Like, so, but when I'm with my daughter, I don't do music things, mostly. Sometimes I might do a little thing here and there, but like, and she'll tell me like, this is boring, so we need to do something else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's accountability, bro. Like, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, it's about what's the word called? Departmentalizing different types of your life, innit? So like when I'm doing music, like I'll focus on it like maybe 4 to 6 hours solid a day. Then you got gym, then you got working, then you got daughter and activities and making sure that food's prepared. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, it is a balancing act. And obviously then you got, in the summertime, you got shows, you got festivals, you got recording time.
You got holidays.
You got like work commitments, like not just full-time work, but like music commitments. I need this by this time, so and so, shooting video, like everything in it. But it just becomes, I feel like the more you do something, you get into a rhythm of it, and then like you pick up tips and like little tricks where you could do things quicker, innit? Like, so for example, obviously I do the podcast now and I do my TikTok and that, but when I first started doing it took me long to edit, bro. And obviously this guy gives me tips in it on things I could use and how I can cut down my time. But at the beginning of anything, it's just long, innit? But if you can get over that period, like where everything takes long, like muscle memory, innit? You get into a habit.
Second nature.
Yeah, and then you could just do things quick.
So quick, yeah.
Like you could do an edit in like 45 minutes, whereas before it'll take you like 3 days.
Remember I used to turn around your videos in 25
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Whereas I remember when you started, like 3 weeks, like, bro, it's not finished yet, bro. Give me some time. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, now I'm logging it. I'm like,
yeah, so it's like that, but it's not.
That's me trying to be a perfectionist now. That's yeah.
It's not
different now.
Yeah, it's not easy. I won't lie, but it's like if you want something, you have to you gotta work it, bruv. Like, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, like, out of all those things, I'll be honest, being a dad is the most important. And I'll tell you why, because it's like there's someone else that is relying on you to be that person all the time, regardless to the other things that are happening in your life and like the ups and downs and trials and tribulations of life. You have to be that all the time, you see what I'm saying? Whereas the music, like, you can not record 1 week and then record 3 songs the next week. You see what I'm saying? Same like with podcasting or whatever, like you can set a schedule and you can keep those things like in relative control, but you can't do that with being a dad. You got to do that all the time, you see what I'm saying? So
this leads to another quite interesting question. How do you disconnect from being BEZ to being Ben? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ben the person rather than the artist. Because obviously you make songs in your head, so obviously when you're out with your daughter, do you find it hard to switch that off?
So I'll be honest, like sometimes I just have to accept that I'm both of those people all the time. But when I'm with my daughter, it's like, it's probably, I don't have to think about it as much. Like, I can be out with her and we'll be doing an event and like we'll be at, like, I don't know, the zoo or something, and I might see something that might spark like, oh, that would be good in a line. Yeah. But then I just kind of store it away and then carry on with the day, and you know what I'm saying, and then come back to it later. Like, but yeah, it's I went for a stage where I did struggle, like, with the identity, especially like when I created the other identity, which was Powers That Be. Like, because then I had like, it's like 3 people, not necessarily living in my head, but they're 3 different personas, like, but obviously,
at the time,
but obviously I was Ben first, innit? Before I had a name, before that, and you just kind of, you have to accept all the parts to you, innit? And then you can just be whoever you need to be in that moment, you see what I'm saying?
That's cool, that's good. Actually, we're going to head it back to Bristol a little bit now. So, I don't think we even started talking about re-recorded music. So you mentioned your first project was recorded with Cali Mist, is that correct?
Alright, so my first, so this is where it gets techie, yeah? So the first song I recorded was with Crazy, yeah? That was on this thing. And then I had this situation where I was signed to this thing called Black Story, yeah? And it was basically, it was me, Splits P, Dino, or D.I.
Oh, Black Story Entertainment.
Yeah. And Fizzy Montana from London, yeah?
I remember, yeah.
So us 4 were signed to, well, not signed, but in an agreement with Black Story to basically, the agreement was you have like a project produced, so you record a project and it's like mixed and mastered and then released. You do a live performance and you also get like a website built for you.
Okay.
So you can build your portfolio and all that. So long story short, that wasn't what it wasn't what it said on the tin, innit? And I realised before the program ended, yeah? So I kind of cut. Like, but the thing is, and they can, the other 3 artists I mentioned, they can testify to this, yeah? At the end of the thing, Black Story wanted to sign us, basically. I read the contract and I was like, nah. that's not me. You see what I'm saying? And I explained to the others that thing there is bogus. And like, that's not a good look. You see what I'm saying? But what I didn't realise at the time is like, obviously I was fortunate and I just cut. And my man basically tried to say I couldn't have my masters and all that. But long story short, I went back when the engineer was there. Engineer gave me my stems and all that on my USB, and I ducked out in it. But what happened then was that they kind of tried to spin a narrative like that I was trying to take over and I got kicked out. But I was fine with, I'll be honest, I was fine with the narrative. Whatever you want to say, and I'm calm with it because I got what I needed and I left, you know what I'm saying? So then I had pieces of my project, but I didn't have the project. So Crazy introduced me to Cali Mist, who lived not far from me at the time. He was in his pop yard. He didn't live in his pop yard, but he had a studio in his dad's house in it. So I would go there over St. Jude's store, and like I put the stems together of the songs, and Cali was like, yeah, you need to re-record this bit or this bit, and so basically, yeah, I put the mixtape together and recorded it at Cali Mist's house. He mixed it, mastered it for me, engineered it properly, like, and he taught me a lot. Like, I always have respect for Cali. Like, he took time and invested in me, like, when he didn't have to, innit? And I was younger then, so he didn't have to do what he did, and I always respect man, always, all till now. Like, we've got a great relationship. Like, I don't see him as much anymore, but
no, I see him here and there.
I always respect like what he did and what he taught me and the time he took. And he didn't charge me for studio time, and I was willing to pay, but he didn't, you know what I'm saying? And he did all the mix and master and everything for me, like, you know what I'm saying? And Crazy did some at the postmaster as well, like, you know what I'm saying? So that was my first project, yeah. And then the second one after that, I think I was working with Purpose Music then still. Like, that was my friend at the time, and he was a producer. He was new though, like, he wasn't really producing for anyone, like, so I kind of like met him and like, I don't want to say taken under my wing, that sounds a bit weird, innit? But I introduced him to the scene then.
Okay.
If that makes sense, like,
maybe like me in a sense.
Yeah, like, I introduced him to the scene and to other artists, and sounds a bit boasty, maybe I shouldn't say it, but fuck it, is what it is. End of the day, other rappers and other people that made music were aware of him because of me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he produced a project for me, and I'll never take credit for any of his production. Please don't get it twisted. Like, he did that already. Mm-hmm. I would just be like, structure it this way. Like, this sounds cold. I don't like this one as much. Or, you see what I'm saying? So like, but yeah.
Helped him out a bit.
So put that project out. Crazy produced some songs for me on a project. I think I produced one or two myself, and then Purpose produced a few others. So then I had that project. But then it got to the point where it was like, I need to start making my own music, like production, because I got sick of waiting for man to have things ready for me, like, and that's kind of selfish to say, but at the same time, it's like, obviously you know me, innit? So I'm someone who, like, once I have an idea, I need to execute it while the idea is fresh in my head, innit? And the thing is with being a rapper, if you've got to wait for people to send you beats, or if you've got to wait for people to do it, it's just long, innit? And so I kind of started producing my own stuff. But obviously there's other things that happened in between that which kind of made it, like, how can I say it? Certain things happen. Okay, do you know what? Fuck it, yeah. Seeing as we're here, we might as well just talk about it, innit? Yeah? I've always been someone that has helped as many people as I can in this thing, yeah? In the industry. And the reason why I'm like that is because people always helped me. Like, my elders invested a lot in me, yeah? Like I said, Crazy was the first person to record me. I met Triggered when I was 16. And at the time, like, he was in the music scene. He was like one of the top guys. He was the first guy to get played, his video get played on MTV Bass. Like, he was doing bare things.
I remember that.
And that's a guy who basically taught me a lot about the business. You understand? Like, about the music business, not just the music, but the business side. You know what I'm saying? He invested a lot of time in me. That's my guy until now. Surplus, R.I.P., my guy. Like, invested a lot of time in me. Surplus was a guy, yeah? I remember, I'll never forget the first time I met him. He performed at Timbuktu. I was like 14, shouldn't have been in there, but I didn't get it. It was mad. Show was mad. Like, before, apart from King Aggie, yeah, Surplus is the greatest guy I ever saw perform live, ever on stage. Like, man was stamping on the street, everything. But when I met Surplus, like, I think I was doing like a music course in Kumba, in the Kumba Centre, and Surplus was like, he wasn't like even really supposed to be there, but because he was just him, he was just always where music was, innit? And he watched me perform a song. I want to say, well, he basically made me perform this one song like 7 times in a row. And he was like, yeah, like, your stage performance is good, but you need to do this when you're saying this part and when you deliver this part. Like, he was such an analyst, like, and like I said, at the time, he was like a star at the time, you see what I'm saying? Like, in the music, he was a star. Like, he had things on Smash, he was performing in France and Paris, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was already like ahead in terms of like what he was doing. And yeah, he invested time in me. Like, we would have conversations about music and bare different things, and like, he was just a guy that was irreplaceable, like, you know what I'm saying? And but not just him, like, Kaleza's mum, she taught me stage performance as well and gave me tips, and like, so this is what I'm saying, is like, bare people invested in me, like, in my success. Like, even Docklands, Creps and Charlotte at Docklands, like, when I didn't have a place to record, she would let me come there and record my songs. Like, she didn't have to do that. Like, she always made sure that I had I could perform at Carnival, like, when no one wasn't really looking to put me on because of whatever different reasons. But she always made sure I had a stage to perform at Carnival and Harbour Festival and Bristol Fest. Do you understand? Like, so people invested in me, yeah, and I've always tried to do the same. The difference is, like, some people that I've invested in, they didn't return the investment. And let me be very clear, I don't ever do things so that someone could do something back for me. That's whack. Like, if you can help someone, you should, innit? But then at the same time, I feel like if someone's done something for you, you should at least be loyal to them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you don't have to return things. No one does things like I said, I don't do things for them to be returned to me, because that's dead. And to be honest, if that was the case, there's people that I mentioned before that have helped me. I could probably never repay them if it was a thing where you had to repay what someone's done for you. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're in a certain position, you're able to help people. You see what I'm saying? And so you should. But like I said, I feel like you should be loyal to that person and remember what they did for you. And there was a time when I was working with bare different people. And you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate how some relationships kind of ended. But I don't have regrets, because at the end of the day, yeah, any relationship that's ended between me and other artists or other people I work with, it weren't because of me. And if they want to sit here and say any different, then I'll just be real, then they're lying to you, innit? Because you can ask anyone. I bet you there's not a person out here that could say that I violated them first. I only have ever defended myself. And I've only ever stood by certain principles and morals that I've carried throughout my career. And like, it's never been a thing where like I've violated first, but I won't just allow a man to violate me either. And I will always call it out when it's been that. And that's what makes people uncomfortable. But for me, it's calm. It's like I said, I've had experiences but I always adapt. So I've had producers, certain things happen, became unreliable, I produced my own music. You know what I'm saying? I've had it where I was cool with certain cameramen and I thought that we were always going to work with, I was always going to work with these people, but it don't work out like that. But it doesn't matter, and this is not a jab at them. Like, I've been fortunate as well to be able to work with a lot of different creatives. You see what I'm saying? So like Rebel on the Grade thing with Mike Jenkins and Benny Ben and Skrilla and bare different people. I was fortunate, and Dre. I was fortunate to be part of that because that was like a mad creative group, and we achieved a lot with that thing. And you know what I'm saying? Like I worked with SimCity on a few of my videos. Like obviously I worked with Fire. On the
still your best video in my opinion.
You know what I'm saying? I work with Wiser on bare different things. You know what I'm saying? And I've done my own videos as well since then. You know what I'm saying?
Don't play the video.
Like I've done. You know what I'm saying? I've been fortunate enough a lot to work with bare different people at different times. So I'm always grateful for that and those people. But I just feel like sometimes as well, you can be I've maybe been a bit naive with my relationships because I expect a certain thing. But just because me as an individual would hold certain principles and certain things of how I carry myself, that doesn't mean that other people have them. No. And you can't, one thing I've learned, like you can't place your expectations upon other people, and it, like how you do things ain't gonna be how they do things. So that's all I say about that.
That's how it is sometimes. Alright, cool. So you mentioned you've done loads of videos over your career, so I want to go through some of the many. But let's talk about the Fire TV one, because I still think, out of all the videos you've done, I still think this is your best video. Where did you come up with this idea of playing chess with this fucking clown thing?
So conceptually, like, it's funny. So that song, like, Get Your Speakers Blow, yeah? I think it's that song, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's mad. It's funny, right? All the music I've released, that's my mum's favourite song all till now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the concept came from the situation that I had just been through. So that song is the first song I recorded with Black Story and all that.
Right.
Yeah. And the reason I did that video is because in my head I felt like I was playing this game against like bad entities that didn't have my interests at heart, innit? So that's why it's a chess game. So it's me on one side, and this is mad because it's crazy dressed up in that. Yeah. Shout out Craze. It's him dressed up in that horrible clown suit.
How do I even get it's a jester suit? So it's not even a clown suit, it's a jester suit.
I had to order it online, but it was like it was made, innit, for that, and it was horrible. Like, and yeah, we filmed it over in Trinity and that. But yeah, that was basically the concept. It was like I said, like the concept was me playing this game against
this clown thing.
Against entities that want to beat me. Like they don't want me to win. You see what I'm saying? And that was kind of the whole concept of that video still.
I love it. I've been doing videos with you for a while now. Like we've done some pretty good ones. But like I like that video.
Yeah.
You can just see the thought process that's gone into it. You can see what you're trying to do with it. And like, even in the video yourself, you can just see in your eyes there's something going on. I've always said that's just my favourite video.
Yeah, but it's like with all my videos, I try and have concepts, and that's why I think that. But that has also worked to my detriment. Yeah, and I'll say that because and that's another reason why I kind of started to do my own videos, because sometimes it's hard to like get your vision across to someone else.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
And obviously I use vision boards, I use treatments, all those like processy things that you're supposed to use.
The camera person may not capture it the way you were.
And that's what I'm saying, like I might see it from a certain angle, or I might see it from a certain height or level or certain colour. Yeah, and it's like it's difficult, and the thing is it's not that person's fault either. It's like sometimes you don't know how to articulate it either, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's not till after, and then it's like you don't really want people to keep coming back to do this specific shot or do bare edits and all that, so you just kind of roll with it. But one of the reasons why I probably, based on my music catalogue, I should have had more videos, but because of just that thing, like I'm never someone who just likes to do a video. Like every video has to tell a story, like. And whether or not the video's been executed correctly is not the point, but it's always got a story. Like when we did therapy, like
so we're gonna get onto that.
Yeah, like, when we did that thing, but the concept was sound. It's just we didn't have the expertise to execute, and that's one thing as well. It's like I said, I've always got a story going. Like I've always got a plan.
The story's clearly in that video.
But sometimes, I'll be honest as well, my stories always have so far always exceeded my resources.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, whereas if man had money there, they would have looked mad. Like, but that's why my last video, like Darth Vader, is one of the ones that's been closest to my vision, because it's not required a lot, but it's been more about the story, innit?
Yeah, I know one of your videos that I quite like is the one that you shot yourself, because because obviously I've been involved myself and I know you personally.
Yeah.
I know where your thought process and I've seen where you're gone with it, so that's one of the videos I like. Alright, so you mentioned it, so we have to go into this one. So, when me and you first started working, you were just doing the wutang project, which is with Protect Your Neck distribution, right?
Yeah.
So, you needed a video done and you hit me up, which was a surprise not only to just me, but everybody else.
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't even have a professional camera. I had a bridge camera which lost focus every 10 minutes because you couldn't put it into manual focus and stuff like that. I'd done a couple of videos on iPads for Drax and Cypher. I hadn't really done anything professional in that sense. You'd already had videos done by like SimCity and Fire TV and other people. Why would you give me the opportunity to do potentially the biggest video of your career when you had the guys that were established, guys like Rebel and Sims and all these?
I got the track for you still.
For real?
Play that.
Yo, listen. Ha. I started writing rhymes all about the age of 9. By the time that I was 10, I didn't even need the pen. By the time I'm on 1, I'm the rapper to the hunt. Give me 45 minutes when the track is nearly done.
Yeah, do you know what? At the time, like, I didn't probably really think about it like that, but I've always been someone that just works based on my relationships, innit? And like, even though you'd not had anything what people may consider substantial, like, released, I just felt like you were the right person to give the opportunity to. And the thing is, it's like, I saw potential, I guess, is what I'm saying. And it's a thing where it's like, we had fun shooting the video.
Oh, it was great,
I'll be honest, the outcome was shocking. But
I reserve judgment and wait for that improvement. It's love. Guess I'll see you at the family reunion. See, I'm the type of guy that will say what's on his mind. You're not liking what I'm saying, but to me that's really fine. Good, give it to you pure, gave it to you raw. I live in the real city, maybe you should take a tour.
But what I mean by that is, it was the concept of the video was perfect.
Yeah, bang.
Yeah. But we just didn't execute it between us all as it should have been
we
executed.
could have done it way better. Even with the camera, I think different angles could have been.
And just
better.
like the lighting, everything, it was just, you know what I'm saying? And
there's purple strips in the video.
Yeah,
when the sun comes in.
But it's like, it's one of those things, yeah.
And so because they talk a lot of talk, but they're just putting on a show. I don't know, I had to let it go, I had to let it fly, I had to let it flow. And I'm not interested in the words of so because they talk a lot of talk, but they're just putting on a show. Call the track therapy.
Whereas like, real talk, at the time, I saw the hunger in it. Like, I saw someone who was like, kind of just starting out in a certain field, like, but I also saw someone that wasn't gonna quit or just stop because it was maybe a bit too hard, or like, I saw someone that had ambition, like someone that was gonna like keep doing things. And also, like, I'll be real, like, obviously I'd already worked with Fire at this point. I'd already worked with Sims at this point, and to
Rebel.
me, like, I was Rebel. I was, but not musically. I still want to work with him, and obviously I worked with Bear. Oh my
Bear
god,
Productions, my dude.
Bear Productions, Yo's my guy. That's the guy who shot my first freestyle.
So many
and I'll be honest, I know I'm jumping around. We'll come back to the wiser thing, but you see with Yo's, that's the only guy. Not the only guy. That's the first guy that shot my video and edited it, and I didn't have any changes to make. Right. Like, he did everything perfectly.
Mad.
Perfectly. And he introduced me to his cousin Kai, who does my artwork. and we have a relationship. He also did my clothing and does my clothing.
Yeah, GMG man.
So GMG, like, yo's like them man there, like solid. Do you understand? But yeah, back to Wiser. So yeah, like I said, at the time I worked with Fire, and that was because of Crazy. Shout out to Crazy. I'd worked with Sims, and then I went on to work with, and I think I had worked with Rebel, but that was on grade. So I'd already worked with everyone that like I wanted to at that time.
Okay.
Like they'd already, like I said, I'd already worked with them and done great videos, and then it just became a thing like, well, I need to work with someone new, innit? You know what I'm saying? And like we just met, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And
because we hit it off at the BBC thing straight away.
Yeah.
And just became friends pretty much overnight.
And that's what I'm saying. And it's like sometimes when you make connections with people, like you have to expand it, like. Because the thing is with this industry, you meet a lot of fake people, like, and they'll smile and shake your hand on that day, and then after that, they'll be like, I don't know who that is. You see what I'm saying?
Those guys.
So it's like, when you meet someone that you click with, like, you should just work with them again to see if it's genuine, because it might not be, innit? You know what I'm saying?
True.
So yeah, we did the video like with Mr. E in Mr. E's house.
We got Mr. E every time, bro.
And we had a great time shooting the video. I'll be honest, we had a better time shooting the video than like when we watched it after. You see what I'm saying? But it's one of them things where it's like, yeah, like, and the thing is, it's like I don't regret it.
No, I don't.
And loads of people say to me, "Oh, but that was a time when that could have taken
that project." That project there. This is why I always think about it, because like that there, like say that could have taken you somewhere else. And it was the wutang thing, and it wasn't just like, with no disrespect to the local guys, it wasn't just a little local project. This had wings, and you gave it to someone that really hadn't made any kind of track record, hadn't any work I done with Upper Rappers was a live event that I just happened to be at the time. No one hooked me up with that event. I was just there at the time. You guys walked up, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, let's film this, and because I'd met Crazy anyway, and yeah, so like it's still something that like it may even have affected your career. Having such a video like that put in front of the protecting neck and all that, and that's not what is valued about you, because like you took a shot. All right, it may not have worked out the best way, but the relationship we've had since then, the work we've put in since then, like it's historic. The stuff you've got on file and the stuff that's probably hasn't even been released yet. Like we've been at this since.
Yeah, and we've done loads of work, and the thing is, yeah, I'll be honest, at that time, like it was a big thing.
It was.
But there's no guarantee that a great video would have would have increased my sales, or do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, it helps to put your name out there, of course, but it doesn't say people are going to put their money in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like with the distribution, that was only for the sonic side, like the musical side. So they still did what they did with the project. Like the project still did what it did.
It still did alright.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It did decent. Like for the time, it did decent. You know what I'm saying?
And to be fair, a lot of people still, even though people did have some stuff to say about it, they say like you can clearly see the work that went into that video. It's not the best, but you can see what you're trying to do with it. And like, I always hold it.
And to be fair, it's like I think probably I should have done more videos for that project. I should have, like, maybe. That's the thing.
We still could.
Yeah, it's true. But at the time, I probably should have, because of the opportunity, and this is what I mean, it's like, sometimes you get things and you might not be ready for them. Like, I should have done a video for every song on that project.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying? And just because of, like, it was being distributed internationally and blah, blah, blah. But, like, that's the thing. It's one of those things where I got a lot of hidden bonuses from that.
Yeah, like, that's true. Yeah, connections that came from it.
Yeah, and like fan base in Canada, in Japan,
and
like
well-known in places.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And even like obviously when that whole Clubhouse thing came about, and you were speaking to some of the people, like they knew me before. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I remember when I popped on there, people knew who you were.
Okay. So it's that, and obviously since then we've gone on, like we've done bare things,
we've done loads of stuff,
like loads of stuff that is just too long. And like little bits of documentaries and like music for your festivals and like all
podcasts.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's more to come. So it's like
so much more.
Sometimes like, and this is what I mean about taking a chance on people. Like I always do, because people took a chance on me at a time when I was no one, bro.
Like, the thing is, and that chance, like not even to do things for your career. From there, I took that to work with the Future Man and Tipper Irie. which put me at that pedestal. That's my first award nomination. You know what I mean? I got a lot of heat from that. That I walked into the award show as like the first ever video from Bristol to be nominated for the best music video, and it's like, I mean, and I was no like Pine and Candy Farm. These guys from Cardiff with Sam De La Haze, I think his production company is. He's a fantastic videographer. He's one of the best. He's someone that I look up to. You know, I mean, so I'm amongst goats.
Yeah.
And like people look at me like, who's this guy? He's got a shitty little camera. I'm thinking exactly the same. He's like, this camera's a pile of shit. You know what I mean? I can't do anything. I'm lying to myself. Like, they lying to me. I'm lying to myself at this point, but I'm trying. But that video, it was the first Bristol reggae music video on the Reggaeville platform. The first one. No one's done that. No one can take that from me. Either, you know what I mean? But,
and that's the thing. Is like, but at the end of the day, it's like I said. Sometimes you just got to take a chance with people, and
look at the names I've worked with since then.
Yeah,
I mean, from there, I say from back to Mikey Freedom.
It goes back to what I said about loyalty, innit?
Yeah,
like, we've always had a good relationship. Always. Like and when you get opportunities that I may not get, you bring me in.
Every time.
Vice versa.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So it's like I said. For one video that we had a great time shooting, it didn't do numbers, whatever. But at the time, it's like, bro, numbers weren't really a thing then anyway.
Back then. No, we were trying to do something.
Like,
we were trying to prove ourselves.
It's just about, can you execute your vision for this thing? And obviously...
And no, we couldn't.
at the time, the answer was no. But it's like...
But we can now, though.
But now...
We've done since then.
Yeah.
We've pulled it off.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so there's bare things like that.
The By Your Side video, the Powers video.
Yeah, do you know, I forgot about that.
Studio, them videos came out nice.
I forgot about that. But you know what? Because you said that, and I didn't know if I was going to talk about it today, but fuck it, we are going to speak about it.
We're going there.
Yeah, I want to clear something up in it, because like sometimes things happen, and you know this, and I don't say anything because I don't care, or because like I'm not interested in people's opinions. But we're going to talk about this one because it's been irritating me. Yeah. So during lockdown, me. Jasper, shout out to Jasper, that's my guy.
T ready.
Yeah, and Wiser, we put together a project, that was just after the George Floyd thing.
Yeah, the BLM.
Yeah, and I wanted to put together this project where we got artists from Bristol that were off color, where we come together and we basically just do a video for a song that's about blackness. Yeah, so. For me, I did. What's the song called?
Jasper did BLM.
Yeah, he did BLM.
Mega did.
I can't even remember. Do you know what? Wiser will put the video links up in the
the videos up somewhere.
They'll come. But basically, there was 4 artists. Yeah, it was me, Jasper, Mega, and Relly. Yeah, and we all basically come down to the studio where Jasper was working up on Gloucester Road. Yeah, shoot the video. Wiser's gonna shoot the video for free, no P.
We're not even meant to be there, innit?
No P. I remember it's lockdown. We're supposed to be outside your yard and things like that. See what I'm saying? So my man's gonna shoot the video for you. Boom, boom, come true. Mega come true first.
Smashed it.
Smashed the video. Went yard. Boom. Then we did Jasper's video. Shot the video. Calm. So my video was last, Bearing in mind, I put the thing together.
The yesterday video, right?
Yeah, yesterday. That's the tune, Relly comes through. We shoot his video.
Quick time too.
Quick. And it was good.
Done.
Yeah? So, I've said to man, because he didn't have the music. And let me be specific, At the end of the day, if you're a professional, bro, if someone's shooting a video for you and for free, have the music file ready. I've already asked you to send it to man so we can sync it up, do the video, boom boom. He's not done that. He's played it off SoundCloud on his phone or something when we're shooting. Calm. But I've said after the video's done, send me the song so that my man can edit it. So we've released Jasper's video, we've released my man's video. By then we've shot my video quick as well.
Done.
Listen, quick, done. So we've done that. So all 4 videos are ready to go. So a week later, like I said, 2 videos are dropped. I've asked Relly again, send me the music, please. Yeah, boom.
So I've chopped it ready as well. We're ready to go.
Just need that's what I'm saying. Chops, edit, everything done. So then, boom. My man hits me with a text now saying, and I remember it vividly, I got it in my phone. Do you understand? I've still got it. It says, I don't know if you've got COVID or something, but you're taking the piss. That's what the message said. Yeah? These times now, I'm thinking, what does he mean, bro? I'm still waiting for your song, Rude Boy. Yeah? So then in my head now, and this is the thing, and I'm going to be real clear with it so that you understand what I'm saying. Reggae's a guy, he's older, he's like 10 years my senior, yeah? So that's a guy that I look at in a certain way, or that I looked at in a certain way. Like, I have respect for man. That's why I shouted him. You see what I'm saying?
That's mutual here too, Con.
Yeah, I had respect for man. But for man to send me a message like that, in my head, automatically, I'm thinking, oh, what, so you're on some bully thing then? Like, you think you could just, like, carry on however? So, like I said, being who I am, I've not responded. Fast forward now, I've seen him in person, yeah? On Midland Road, in just off, not Midland Road, Old Market basically, yeah? So I've seen him, he's got out the car, and I've said, walk on. And he's trying to chat to me like, oh, where's the video, fam? And Ray Tay Tay. And I've said, bro, all now you've not sent me the music.
Been waiting.
Been waiting. Plus, at the time, Wiser was going through a couple of things, so things was taking a bit longer edit-wise. But I said to man, like, my man's going through some things, Ray Tay Tay, but that don't matter if you've not sent me the music.
The music, it'd have been done.
Do you understand? So, man said, oh, and I've said to him, it's not personal, bro. Like, and he said, oh, but it felt personal, and I know you saw my messages, like, I saw the blue tick. Brother, listen to me, yeah? And I'll only say it like this. Man know me, like, I'm not no bad man, nothing like that. You understand? I'm not no, like, no, I'm just me.
Yeah.
But I'll protect my corner, innit, yeah? So, what I'm saying to you, and like you said, man, if man want to come on here and get interviewed by you and
he wants to come and rebuttal,
flip the narrative, whatever, but your thing's a narrative, my thing is factual, and I've got people that are here witnessing. Plus there's other things that happen that I won't speak about. Like, remember when I was telling you about when we used that space and he was
snitched, innit?
Bro, do you understand? When we alright, you know, let me fast forward. When we shot the video, he was in conversations with the owner of that studio about renting that space for other projects, yeah? He came through with us and used the space for free. Now, at the time, we're in lockdown. So obviously, I paid for the space, but my man has said specifically, really has said specifically, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to speak to the owner or anyone about this session. Because we're in separate conversations about me using the space, yeah? People heard that. There's 2 witnesses there that heard him say, I'm not going to say anything. The same day that we shot the video, I get a message from my Don, Jasper, and he said, oh, Reggie's spoken to the owner and said that we was in there today.
Yeah. Do you remember she sent me an email asking me to come down for a meeting? You're like,
thank you.
Not go to that meeting. I'm
right?
Like, okay.
So if you've specifically said you're not going to speak about this to anyone, specifically the owner, but yet an hour after we've shot your video, you've then gone and spoke to her and said that you've seen the space and you was in there today. So what's that? But anyway, move on. I've seen man in person, yeah? And he's moving a bit funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah? So, I've not seen him since. No, that's a lie, I have. But you know what? I've not seen him since, yeah? But what I will say to you is this, like I said, I'm not no... Like, on the road, I'm no one, innit? I'm just me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
this ain't no bad boy thing.
But what I'm saying to you is integrity, bro. Integrity. How you maneuver yourself as an individual is what people remember. If I've given you an opportunity, yeah, and all you had to do was send the music, I'm not trying to hear no other talk about what you feel and all these things. That's mad.
This is business.
Yeah, it's business. And furthermore, you're getting it for free.
Do you know how expensive I am?
Yeah, do you understand? So, when people say, oh, do you have issue? No, it's not issue, yeah? It's a thing where it's like, maintain your consistency in character, bro. That's what I'm saying. And that's where that issue came from. And
that's upsetting because me and Karen were building a relationship and I haven't spoke to her since that day.
And that's what I'm saying. And I looked at man in a certain way.
Yeah.
But I can't look at you like that no more because you tried to be on the bully thing, and then when I've seen you in person and I've said to you, yeah, I'm not going to apologise because at the end of the day, you're in your feelings, that's not my problem. And then as an older, I look at you and I've had to have that conversation with you and kind of put you in your place because you're trying to be on some bully thing. Nah, not with me. So that's all I'm going to say about that, yeah?
10 years I've seen you, fam.
Do you understand? Like, relax. But maybe you was going through things, I don't know. I'm not going to, like, but what I'm saying is, in future, and the mad thing is you portray yourself a certain way. Like, yeah, man's doing community things and he's positive and got charities and all that, and I respect those things, but then don't come at me like you're on some bad man bully thing because that won't work with me. And that's all we're going to say about that. But we're going to move on, yeah? So, like I said, I do want to kind of give some shout outs to people that have been important in the scene, yeah? That are important to me and have influenced me and like inspired me, yeah? So, we'll start with Triggered, yeah? Like I said, I met man when I was 16.
Big up Wise Guy.
Yeah, Wise Guy, sorry, that's his thing now.
Right?
Yeah, but that's a guy in terms of like my relationship with him. That's someone who's always been consistent. Someone who's always been like a thorough individual. Like someone who's always been unapologetic and told me the truth. You see what I'm saying? Like, me and him have been cool, well, since I met him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but that's a guy who showed me a lot about the business. That's a guy who provided me with opportunities. That's a guy who introduced me to MTG. Like, wow. And let me explain what that means to me, yeah? Because at the time, obviously, I was just becoming an artist. Like, I wasn't established yet. You understand? So, my man introduced me to Ooze. My man introduced me to Suge.
Wow.
My man introduced me to C's, and C's was my favourite guy, like, in MTG. Like, I rated that guy so highly, it was mad.
Probably still one of the best people.
No, 100%. And do you know what's mad? I'll come on to it in a minute, but I did a crazy entered me into this battle rap thing, and I got through against C's. And obviously, man, destroyed me. Listen, that experience there was like I said, he was my favourite. C's was my favourite in Ting. And when I got drawn against him in that battle Ting, I think it was round 1, and there was 5 rounds. I was done first round.
Straight out, yeah.
But like, I'll be honest, like, if I could go out to anyone, him, yeah, what can you say?
Even though you lost the battle,
no, not lost is not the word. Man destroyed, man.
Okay.
But
either way, your name is up against C's in the first round. Your name is next to a goat.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Take on a goat.
And the thing is, there's no shame in losing to him. And because lyrically incredible,
he'll kill anybody,
incredible, and that made me better because it made me look at music like, yeah, do you know what, like, you can make songs, you can do this, but there's an other side to music, which is the battle side. And if you can't defend yourself, yeah, regardless of what your content is and what you talk about, if you can't defend yourself admirably in a battle rap, you might not make it, bro.
No.
So that made me stronger. But yeah, Triggered introduced me to them, like, and I met Drix as well. He introduced me to RE, and RE, like, at the time, yeah, RE was like a star, bro. Like, I remember I saw him perform at Ashton Court. Because I went there with Trigger and them, man, because they was all performing, but obviously I'm just a younger, I'm an observer, that's it. You see what I'm saying? And
the bubble hasn't been burst yet.
Nah, I'm still no one, bro. I'll be honest, I'm no one, innit? Like, I'm just the guy that Trigger met and taught me on this course. He taught a lot of us on this course. I'll get into that.
We're gonna talk about this course.
But yeah, so basically, like I said, Trigger introduced me to them, and to me, MTG was the Avengers, bro. Like, they were like,
if they were still all together now, Bristol wouldn't be chatting about Bristol's breast.
They were impeccable. Let me tell you, yeah, the characters that were in MTG at the time, the label, them impeccable. Like, each of them like there's bare groups you can like compare them to and everything, like Wutang, NWA, So Solid, like they were that for us, innit? You see what I'm saying?
100.
So he introduced me to them. I remember, he was Trigger was the first person to play me King Aggie's mixtape. Oh, and the thing is, obviously, I knew who he was, like.
Because how could you not?
Because he's a legend, isn't it? He's a legend. But what I mean is, I only knew him, who he was, like, from that street legend. Like, I didn't know his music. He played me that mixtape. I'll never forget it when he played me. I can't even remember which mixtape it was. I think it's the one he recorded when he was inside.
Okay.
The one that he recorded and then sent
the
out to the streets.
Record. His Majesty's Poetry.
Either that one or the one before. I can't remember. But
which one was called,
but basically, it changed how I looked at music. Because like when I heard it, he's like, and even though our content is completely different, like he's someone who like could tell a story. He's someone who, what he's rapping about is real. Like he's really lived these things, and that's not to say that other people in the scene have not, but he's lived it and experienced it on a level that's so much higher than everyone else. Like you could feel it in the music, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a big inspiration to me. Like just to have someone put together a musical body of work like that, and like his alliteration and like how he delivered certain words and his vocal, like everything was at the highest level.
I agree. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I always rated man for that. But yeah, Trigger taught me a lot, and like he still continues to like mentor me in certain things. So that's someone I want to send my shout out to and my respects to. The second person is crazy, and although like we haven't been as close or as like as in the same frequency as of late, like you can't take away what he's done for the scene, and he's done a lot for me personally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like like I said, he's the first person to record me. He introduced me to Fire when we did that video. He introduced me to Sims when I did that video. Like, he recorded my music.
He's the reason we met, with the BBC thing.
Yeah, like he put me on mad shows. Like, we kind of, not just me and him, but like we built Word Life together, really.
You were definitely part of. I was going to get onto that in a minute, but
like,
you definitely did. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
When I came into Word Life, I was hanging around with you, man, a little bit. Like,
and there was a time,
always there.
Yeah, and there was a time it was just me and him,
yeah.
and obviously he always had a silent partner, like he had Toby and then he had Scotty and whatever. Yeah. But in terms of the function of Word Life,
it was always
like,
you two at one point.
It was us two in it, but we'll get to that. But yeah, like he's someone who provided opportunity for me. Like he's someone who always encouraged me. Like he would always record me. He's someone who like. He provided a platform for not just me, a lot of artists.
Yeah, 100%.
He provided opportunity for a lot of artists, and he still kind of does that today. You see what I'm saying? So I have to say respect to where respect is due, even though our relationship is not the same as it was then. Like I guess the thing is when you've known someone for so long. Like when I met him, I was a boy, innit? Whereas I'm a man now. So certain things that I will see now, I don't see them the same as I did then. But that aside, you can't take away his contribution to the game, to the scene. You can't take away his contributions that he's done for me personally. And you can't take away the opportunities and platforms that he's provided for multiple artists. You see what I'm saying? So,
and not even just local, like he's put on international artists, he's put on so many people. And not just even artists, he's done a lot of stuff, community based.
He's done,
he's
bro,
busy,
he's done and he does a lot.
Still, yeah, that's what I mean. It's
like,
he's still active as fuck. He's
yeah,
still out there
so
with artists and
so my respects will always, I'll always have my respects for him in that sense. Yeah. Another person, like I spoke about him already, obviously. King Aggie, like, was an inspiration to a lot of people. Like, and like I said, even though our content is different, there's a whole generation of rappers that he inspired. You You see what I'm saying?
It's reality rap, innit? He spoke real.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
And he spoke his reality.
Yeah, fuck.
You see what I'm saying? So
What he saw.
respects to that. Respects to him. Sorry. Obviously, Split Profits. Like, and
still touring now.
And again, I met a lot of them because of Crazy, like that kid, and like bear them.
I met them in the BBC thing as well.
Oh, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta respect what they do. You know what I'm saying? Wish, I respect what he's doing right now.
You can't not, innit?
And like obviously I've seen him through his different stages as an artist and rate
Wish
that.
to Death Wish to Wishmaster.
Like I rate Ellis and what he does, and I've always kind of rated his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just very much him. He does his thing.
Another reality rap.
Yeah. I like Pine. Like I'm still inspired. When Pine drops a thing, I'm still inspired. Like I was the first time I heard his first thing.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Like I just rate what he does. His very much his style. He does his thing. You know what I'm saying? I rate that. Obviously I touched on the Ooze, Suge, and all them MTG guys. Like they were so important at the time because there was a time when they were putting out music and no one else was. You know what I'm saying? So like respects to them.
Whenever people ask me about Bristol music history, I always bring them up. I say you have to do.
If you don't say them, then you're just hating for no reason. And
because like you say, that was like our NWA, and that they were just
animals,
bro.
Yeah,
ready.
And like Tug MC, all of it, and they were all different. Like,
and they were the first ones who set the standard of we're being paid for who we are.
And they had like a certain. They just had that camaraderie, that brotherhood.
They were getting into the magazines because of Jolene and stuff.
They would just do it. You know what I'm saying? You have to just rate them. You have to rate them. I rate Pun, like I said. I rate Calais and what he does, and like obviously he's a producer and a rapper and songwriter, so he can do a lot. Kind of like
me.
Is he
still doing the radio thing?
I don't think so anymore. But that's what I'm saying. He had a radio show. He's done a lot, and he does a lot. So like, you know what I'm saying? Regardless to how. Whatever else, like personal feelings aside, you have to rate, man.
Oh yeah, come on, yeah, he's one of the pioneers.
You have to rate the output. You understand, like
obviously the homegrown thing with the videos and stuff.
Yeah, you have to, bro. You have to rate it. Like, I rate Crush.
Oh yeah, come on, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like Skrilla.
Yeah, we need to come back, man. We need a Skrilla come back.
I like Sizel. You see what I'm saying?
She just got on BBC.
Yeah, bro. And that's the thing. There's loads of people that I like and respect, but I guess as well, what I'm saying is, Preem's another person, yeah. Like, in terms of someone who did things professionally at a high level and did good videos and like very professional, very accurate, very attentive. Like you have to.
Regardless of your personal feelings.
And all the people I've said. Like, there's obviously others, but all the people I've said, like, I hold in the highest regard because of their inspiration to me.
Yeah, exactly that. It's like a lot of people don't like Kane, isn't it? But regardless of how you feel about him, I look up to Kane and I'm inspired by what he does because he does it right.
Do you know?
In the industry, and DJs play his shit. People talk about him.
They do, and from an industry perspective, he has done things.
A lot.
He's done things, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like, and like I said, everyone who I've said, like, I don't have a personal relationship with all of them, but I'm inspired, or I've been inspired by their output and what they've done and what they do. So it's like, Sigga as well. I rate him, you know.
No, I don't have a relationship with him, but I watch his work.
I rate him. That's what I'm saying. There's certain man I rate most people, if I'm honest. Yeah, and if I didn't say your name, it's not because I don't rate you. It's just not in my head right now. Yeah, there's a lot of names and there's a lot of people that do their thing. You know what I'm saying? I like Quasi as well. I like him.
Yeah, he's sick. Yeah. I like the what they got the not regiment. There's three of them.
Yeah.
There's new. I can't remember what they're called now. I can't remember.
Meeks and all them man there as well.
Yeah, these new kids that are coming through are actually on.
There's loads of people I like and respect and I'm inspired by in our scene, and the reason I've said all those names is because it's like we do tend to look to other cities or other countries, whereas we have a lot of inspiration here, and obviously Surplus and R.I.P. like Bugsy. Joker. There's bare people that are big that have done things that are from here. You understand? So it's like I said, like all those people I've said, I'm more like I've got bare respect for them and their output, and regardless to whether they still make music now or don't, I feel like those people, their legacy can never be you can never take away what they've contributed. No. And without those people and the others, there's no scene, isn't it?
Exactly that.
Because they've all contributed at different times, so yeah.
100%. That's something that's very real. You can never take away someone's body of work. Like there's people out here that are putting real history for the sake.
And the contribution, like you can't take away from it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like we did the Windruster Carnival thing, and that was a big kind. Only really the Bristol's best were on that. You know, I mean, you had to be someone to be involved with that at all, and like that, that was a big look. That's what I'm saying. Is that sometimes you just have to be part of that. Anyway, let's move on to where were we at?
So what you want to talk about the word life thing, yeah?
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to move on to. Is like when I first met you, obviously you were part of the word life thing, and it was pretty much like you were crazy. Billy Wiz would be about on the decks, and you might have like characters like Dimitri hanging around. Toby might have been there, or the Tobias John character was around at one point. But nowadays it's pretty much just crazy running around with whatever artist has got a bit of light or whatever. But that's sensible. That's by design. If you're popping, you need to get with the guy who's basically the face of the hip hop scene, pretty much. And no matter what anyone says, like if you like him or not, with that Ujimo show and everything as well. He is the face of hip hop for our city, and that's just the way it is. So the way I saw it when I came in, you two were tight in it. You were always in the door, crazy. We'd always be working in the crowd, Tobias would be behind the bar, Billy on deck, and we'd all be sort of like just hanging around, having a good time, spitting, whatever. So actually nowadays it's just crazy. How did you kind of move away from word life? Because I don't think it was really a beef situation, was it? It was more you just kind of slipped away.
Yeah, it was never beef, and I'll be honest, it's like so when Word Life started, so Word Life started based off a Facebook conversation that Calais and certain other man was having with.
It started out with contraband sessions, right?
Yeah, so but they are kind of already happening, But what happened is, there was a conversation that happened anyway, basically, where people were saying, like, basically, if you're from ends, like, you don't really get booked for shows, and, like, there was a kind of, like, a taboo from booking agents to book man from ends and on shows.
Because of the crime situation as well.
Yeah, well, not even just that, just because they weren't really connected to the community, if I'm honest. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you just book who you know, innit? You know what I'm saying? And it was like, so we all met at the Plough, in Easton, I was there, Troy was there, Crazy was there, Yogs was there.
He filmed it, I remember.
Yeah, what's his name? Lux was there. There was a couple other people there, and I'm sorry if I've not said your name, but I probably didn't necessarily know you at the time, but I know there was like a group of us that met there at the Plough.
It was still early days when this came around.
And basically we all decided, like, obviously, we need a platform, something that can be put together that will be for artists from certain areas, like, that are not getting booked and that, you see what I'm saying? So basically the end, St. Paul's, Easton, whatever you consider it, like, you know what I'm saying?
This is a historic meeting, because this is something that you see in, like, the hip-hop world itself, where groups get together, having a discussion, boom, brand.
Exactly. So we come together, and if I remember rightly, it was Troy who termed the phrase, like, we should call it, like, because we were all saying, what should we call it, and rated it, and he was the one who said word life. Like, it was him who said it. I could be wrong, but if I remember, it was Troy that actually said that term. You know what I'm saying? So then, to his credit, like, Crazy kind of took that and branded it. You know what I'm saying? He made it a thing. Like you said, he was having the contraband sessions in Cozy's, and then basically Tobias John, like, he's got a show on radio, BCFM radio, breakfast show, like, still my guy, still respect.
I see him around sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he had just acquired Snug.
Yeah, that's right. Snug
on
that's where I popped in when you had that.
Yeah, Snug on Stokes Croft.
Yeah.
So then him and Crazy kind of met up and decided, like, like, we can host them from here. We'll have a monthly thing, and it'll be a platform for people to come through and perform, like, people that don't get shows and that, and Tay. So it kind of started, and at the time, even though I was involved, I would go to all of the events. I think there was 2 or 3 before I became officially involved, because there was someone else, and then that person ducked out, whatever. So, so then, like I said, Crazy would organise the artists. Billy Riz was on the decks. We had another DJ as well, but it wasn't as consistent as Billy, if I'm honest. Yeah, I think that was later though. But at the beginning, it was mainly just Billy. And then obviously Tobias had the bar, yeah? So at the beginning, I would work the door. I would introduce the acts.
Yeah, that's how I do.
With Crazy and like make sure the artists were ready to go on stage, yeah? So then obviously as it developed, like I did a few of the shows myself. Still working the door, man. Still introducing acts, but then doing my thing as well. And like, I was someone who did whatever needed to be done, yeah? And let me just pause there. You see that? That is where I feel like I made a mistake. Because I wasn't valuing my services, yeah? And because I wasn't valuing my services, because in my head I was like, yeah, I'm just working with my brother, like, it's calm, you know what I'm saying? But then, if you don't separate the friendship from the business, yeah? You devalue yourself, and then they expect those things from you, when really, like at the beginning it's fine, you know what I'm saying? But as something builds and it gets bigger, if you're someone who's one of the founders or part of the foundation, not, you know what I'm saying, not you're more important than anyone else, but you're one of the founders, you're someone who helped maintain something, you're someone that was there when it was low, but you also was someone who contributed to building it up and was there at the high point. You were supposed to be valued along your journey, and your importance in that thing is supposed to be reflected in that growth, yeah? You see what I'm saying? And that didn't happen for me. And there's two reasons why. Number one, in order to make Word Life a success, obviously it had to have people that invest, yeah? So, and I know that Toby, like I said, he was investing not only the place, but money into the branding and whatever else, yeah? And I'm sure that at the time he had his own ideas that maybe he wanted to apply as well, and for whatever reason that didn't work out, innit? So then we moved out of Snug, and then Crazy got another partner, another investor, should I say, yeah? Who wasn't as silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is Scotty Rax.
He's currently doing time for...
So,
I'm not going to mention his offences, but he's
so,
currently serving.
Obviously, he gets involved now, and he's a different kind of character. You see what I'm saying?
Loud, isn't it?
And probably, to be fair to, like, and the thing is, obviously, these times I'm still kind of like young, innit? So in my head, I only know Crazy. I think
that's still most of us didn't know.
Yeah,
Scotty.
I don't really know you like that. You understand? So it's like, for me, it's like, number one, I don't take orders.
No.
Like, I work with my brother. We've kind of built this thing.
You're not paying me, so...
Along with Young UK as well. And I got to shout out Young UK because he was very involved at the beginning in terms of hosting and organising and getting people involved. His shot, we'll go back to that in a bit, but basically Young UK, I got to shout him out as well, yeah? For a long time it was, them Crazy and Young UK and Toby, and then I was, like I said, just doing what needs to be done, do the door, the performance, Ray Tay Tay, you know what I'm saying? So, but then my man came in, and it was a good thing, but it was also a bad thing. It was a good thing because obviously we did the show with Cassis there, that Malcolm X.
And Mark Deep and...
Bear man came out for that, you understand?
That was a big event.
It was big, you see what I'm saying? Obviously Mobb Deep, and this is my point, like I got to meet them backstage, I got to perform on stage with Mobb Deep watching me, and at the end them saying, like, rate your thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not bitter. Like, I got a lot out of Word Life, but I contributed more than what I got. I'll be honest.
Interesting.
But it doesn't matter. Like, what I got doesn't matter. Like, I wasn't there to do it for what I can get or. No, I was there because Crazy was my bro. He's my bro, innit? Like, and I wanted to help him however I could to build this thing. And this thing that is being built is not just about any one person, it's about the scene. You see what I'm saying?
Bigger picture, innit?
Yeah. So then obviously you got the radio show, which is an interesting story, but we'll tell that one another time, yeah? But the fact of the matter is, the reason I kind of stepped away from Word Life is because I started to get a bit confused. Like, I didn't know where it was going directionally. And like I said, it was started originally because it was supposed to represent certain things, like certain areas that weren't getting opportunities and and then I just feel like the original mission maybe got lost a little bit. And for me, it was like I said, Crazy is my brother, like, it's not a thing where there's any malice, there's not anything that's negative, it's just, I feel like Word Life as the brand, as certain people got involved, it started to lose, like, its essence, like, its foundation, innit? And I'm someone who, if I've helped build something, I don't really want to stay on board and watch it sink. And I'm not saying it has sunk, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that when things change direction, yeah, or change the way that they're supposed to go in terms of how I feel it should be, like, I can't just stand there and watch things not work properly. Like, when I know that they have worked properly before and that it just didn't work out. And at the same time, it's like, I was probably going in a different direction myself as well. Like, it's not just about what happened over there, it's about me as well, personal growth.
It sounds like it was a bit of a creative difference.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, because that is my brother, I would never want to damage that relationship because we didn't see eye to eye on certain things.
We saw each other at my show, like, it was cool, isn't it? So.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not, and that's what I'm saying, it's not everything where there's disagreements, or it's not always beef. Yeah. It's not always a situation.
I'm going this way, you're going that way.
Yeah, it's just the thing where sometimes directions, you just go different ways. And obviously since then, you know what I'm saying, like, I've produced albums for people, I've written songs for people, I've got my podcast now, I've got, do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
around doing whatever. I was managing you at one point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've done things, like, I've still continued to do what I do. It's just, me and Crazy have not been, like, on the same path for some time, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's not a disrespecting, it's just a thing where it's like I said, I helped do something, I helped build something, it was going a certain way, and then I feel like it changed direction. And to be fair, right, this is a thing that I'm probably not reflecting on, but to be fair, looking at it from Crazy's perspective, he's obviously working with this investor, and this investor probably has certain demands and needs and things that he wants from his investment, isn't it?
So he's putting big money to get it twisted.
He's contributing a large thing to make, so obviously Crazy has to kind of not necessarily compromise, but he has to make sure that his business partner is happy as well. So he's going to have to do certain things to make sure that the show can continue to run.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not a thing where, I'm not saying that man purposely made it different. No. I just feel like it became different because of who was involved, and I was just not comfortable with where it was going. So I stepped back. But if you notice, I've never said anything negative about him.
I think this is probably the first time you've actually addressed this publicly.
Yeah? No. I've never said anything negative about man.
Nope.
Yeah? I've never said anything negative about Word Life or the show.
Nope.
I've never said, been bitter and said, I just left because of, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's going its course. I don't need to be there for that to happen. Like, I've contributed enough already. You see what I'm saying? And it's going its thing, and you know what I'm saying? And it's still a good thing. It's still a valuable platform to the city and to the scene and all those things. And it's like, it's no hard feelings ever. But
sometimes people go different ways. It's like, people sometimes ask me, what happened to your boy Cypher? It's like, nothing, mate. He's still very much around, and I still talk to him quite a lot. It's just a case of he's now gone off. I don't know how he managed this, but he's got the medical industry to put him through as a cannabis user. So now he's allowed to experiment with growing seeds and have samples and stuff. So now he's heavily involved in the cannabis industry. So he has less time to be around for music these days. But it's not so much we don't work together and we're not friends or anything, just a case of he has less time for doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And occasionally he might hit me up and say, what are you doing these days? Just catch up. We just don't have that kind of time.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean there's any beef or anything like
exactly.
that.
It's not necessarily issues, it's just the thing where it's like, end of the day, it's like, I had to grow. Yeah. And sometimes when you have to grow, you have to like grow by yourself, innit?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've gone on to do other things and he's still doing what he kind of planned to do in the beginning. So that's what I'm saying. It's not issue, and this is the only time I've spoken about it because. The reason I'm speaking about it is because I feel like perception is when you work with someone for so long, and then you don't, there must be a negative reason why.
Whispers
and that's the thing. Like we haven't always seen eye to eye on certain things. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like that should be a secret. Like. When your brothers, like you don't always agree in it, you know what I'm saying, and sometimes you have to have difficult conversations. And to be fair, there probably is still a difficult conversation that we haven't had. But at the same time, like I said, it's not animosity.
No,
it's not. It's not issues. I respect everything that he's done for the scene, everything he's done for me, and I still want him to succeed and go forward and do his thing, innit? So I've kind of addressed two of the main things. So the reggae thing, which is probably you could say is unresolved, but I don't care that it's unresolved. It don't need to get resolved. But then the crazy thing, I've clarified that there's no beef, there's no issues, there's nothing like that. It's just differences. And like I said, credit to him, he's older than me. Do you understand? Like, so when I met him, I was a younger.
Exactly.
So he's contributed a lot to me, but I'm the one who's grown and got older. I'm the one who's probably not changed, but I'm the one who was like.
And maybe you just kind of outgrew that. Maybe
and that's what I'm saying. I'm the one who had to. That's why I'm the one who stepped away because, like in the scenario, it probably wasn't. Like I said, there's no issue, but I'm the one who had to separate myself because that thing is already set. It's already set sail. Like it's gone. Like it's going and it keeps going, like it's supposed to. But my thing is. I have to do my thing now. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
That's kind of what I did, the same thing. So I remember I used to have like the Team Wiser camp.
There
was a few of us, and after a while I was like, you know what, as much as they're all working, one was messing around with the law and stuff, one's becoming a cannabis industry expert, another one lives miles away from it. We just didn't have time like that. He was like, you know what lads, let's all disband. If we work together in future, cool, but I need to do my thing now.
And like I said, I've known him
forever.
Since I was so young. Like, you know what I'm saying? Half my life, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like I would rather step away and preserve that
friendship, innit?
That friendship and that brotherhood.
Before it gets ugly.
Before things turn sour. Because if you just stay for the sake of it and then there maybe are things that are unsaid or whatever, then it starts to turn sour. But like I said, I've never said anything negative about man.
He's never said anything about
in the public thing. Exactly, he's never said anything publicly negative about me. I'm just not there anymore. He's still doing his thing, and
you may still work together in the future.
That's what there's no reason why we couldn't connect again. You see what I'm saying?
You can co-headline my show, bro.
Yeah,
you did connect again.
So there's no reason, like you know what I'm saying. But it's just sometimes things don't end as they started, innit?
Yeah,
and that's
what it is. I'm not around half the people that I've worked with, but you know, it's just.
This is how it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've gone through that with not just him, but other people.
Yeah,
people that were considered part of my team, like Furious Dreams and that. And like I said, like it's not always
beef with disagreements. Just
it's not.
Along,
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes that happens. But it's good that you brought that up, and it's good to get that out because at least now it's been addressed and everything. And if Crazy's watching, you know, you can always come and rebuttal him. And
he may have a different view in it, but that's just my view on it.
But by all means, come along and chat about it and stuff. But let's get off of that. Let's get into wrapping this up because we've been going quite a while now. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
5 years, yeah. I'll be honest, in the next 5 years, I feel like I'll be a more established entity outside of the city. So what I mean by that is it might not just be my songs, or it'll be like they'll know that I do. Like my music will be either in a Netflix show or in like a Channel 4 show.
Yeah, credits is what you're saying basically.
Yeah, like my portfolio will be bigger than just rap.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I'm not going to continue to rap, because I love rap, you know what I'm saying? But it will be...
You're looking for those more industry credits now.
Yeah, Be Easy will be a name like that, you know, along with Be Easy Productions. Do you understand?
Do you think you might run into an issue when you start getting to that level? Because obviously Bez,
yes,
this is brought up all the time.
I know.
Do you think you're going to run into issues when you get to that stage?
Probably, and I've already had some.
Really?
Like where I had to clarify with Spotify and that my stream, like the name, so because they wanted to send my streams money to my man and them things there. But at the same time, it's not actually spelt the same.
No,
like his letters are B
Easy,
E Z, mine are B
dash.
hyphen E hyphen Z.
There's technicalities there.
So it's like when it comes to obviously my copyright and that, it's like it's similar, but it's not the same. And also like you have to think he's a bit older, so I don't know how much longer like
it's gonna be an issue.
Nah, I'm not saying that. Get me make sure you edit this properly. I don't fuck me. What I'm saying is obviously he's been active for a long time.
Yeah.
But he's not like necessarily as active as I hope to become. But I'm always willing to sit down with him and have a conversation, and like if I need to change things I can. And I can just put things through my company anyway.
He probably wouldn't care anyway.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a kind of a cool guy anyway, so like you know what I'm saying, it's not a problem. Make sure you edit out that because I don't want no bullshit. But so yeah, in terms of 5 years, I am planning to expand the brand and have more licensing opportunities, more singing opportunities, but also like have an album that charts. It doesn't have to be mine. Yeah, it could be an album I produced for a singer, or an album I've written for a singer. It doesn't have to be me, but a album that charts. And it doesn't have to be top 10, I'll be honest. Like top 40 is calm. In the next 5 years, and then from there look into.
I think that's a good goal.
You know what I'm saying, and also probably the podcast. I want to get a sponsor, but the right sponsor, and I've had approaches from sponsors for the podcast, but it has to fit with me and how I see things and all that, and like I'm not really. I want someone to come in and better the show, but I'm not going to compromise to improve. That don't make no sense. So get a sponsor in.
Sometimes equipment sponsors are all you need.
Yeah, but also obviously at the moment my podcast is mainly focused on Bristol, but I want to expand it out and go Manchester, go Liverpool, go London, different places, Birmingham,
take it on tour,
and interview people there, and obviously then eventually up the level of clientele that I interview. But even then, it's always going to be very specific to me, because I don't necessarily want to interview people that everyone's interviewed loads of times and all that kind of stuff. So expand that and eventually get a co-host for that, and then just do more. I do a lot more music for documentaries and like wildlife shows and all kind of things that you would think, I don't know if man could do that, things like that.
It's funny you should mention that. There's now a place in Bristol, the BBC Wildlife Filming Centre, just past companies.
Okay, you said about that, so things like that. Probably I want to do some rebranding with my clothing as well, and like do some specific pieces and all that, and like I've got lots of ideas. I want to do a short film as well in the next 5 years. Obviously we've been talking about that, innit? So I want to do that, and like a couple of other things like some YouTube series, like short series and that. Like now I've built my channel and built the subscribers. Like, it's a good place to have content in it. So there'll be lots of different things in the next 5 years, and probably if you ask me next week, I'll tell you 10 other things I want to do in the next 5 years. But yeah, just to like really establish the brand and like branch it outside of the city that I'm from. That I always love and I always do things in. But I feel like if you want to create, if you're someone like me who wants to not just create content but create opportunities for other people like me, like where I'm from, like you have to take it outside the city. And it's sad, in a way it's sad, because see, when I do something outside the city, I get more recognition there than I do here.
Same,
and if someone from the city hears about something I've done outside the city, they then gravitate to it.
They get way more excited about it too, innit?
Because, but that's just how it is. It's not just here; it's everywhere, and it is true. Like even people from Birmingham, Manchester, whatever, they'll say like they get more love when they go somewhere else.
To be fair, when I show guys outside the city my work and stuff, I was like, oh, you must be a big man in Bristol. I'm like, I'm just any other guy in Bristol. Like,
yeah.
I just looks big because of what I do.
But that's the thing, when people know you, you're just local to them. You always just be local to them.
Because it's on a friendship team.
Yeah.
I think they can kind of take the piss or whatever and just like, sorry, it's neighbours.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I want to branch out, I want to expand, build a portfolio, do more things, and create opportunities for other people, really. Like.
Alright, so the question I got for you. Tell us quickly about the new album that's coming, because you've just put the artwork out, right?
Yeah, so the new album's called Best Served Cold. Yeah. Now, I've done. It's weird because I did an interview on the BBC. Shout out to Kevin Philman and DJ Styles and The Booth.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I had a different name for the album. Yeah, at that time, the album was called Calm, which stood for Calculated Animated Lyrical Monster. Yeah, but upon reflection, it's like sometimes I try and go too deep with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're quite deep with these.
Yeah, like, because I'm quite philosophical anyway. So sometimes I'm too involved, like, I go too deep with it, whereas I just felt like, do you know what, I need to simplify the name and just call it Best Served Cold. And the reason it's called that is because, like, I've been through a lot of things, like, personally and professionally, yeah. Whereas now I'm at the point where it's like, my art is different. Like, I still tell my stories, lyrics are still important to me, the structure of the song is still important to me, but this one's probably a bit more, what Kanye said, edgy. Like, it's a bit more like, it shows a bit more of me and like what I've been through, whereas I feel like on my previous projects, I probably, even though I go through things, I always keep it separate from my art, and I just like create and make good songs, and I don't get twisted, but like this one's probably more personal. And even some of the things that I've spoke about today, when you hear the lyrics and the aggression and the style and the flow, and like you will hear like those parts of it. Like, I feel like my music is always still very positive, but I feel like on this project there's an equal balance of pain, growth, progress, struggle, and positivity. So it's more rounded. Everyone who's heard it, and it's, do you know what's weird? It's like I've sent it to like more people than what I would send it to normally. Normally I just make my album and put it out. I don't really, apart from Triggered On, he's the only person I would usually always just send my music to, like, as that critical ear. Yeah. But this time, like, I've sent it to you, but I would normally send it to you anyway. Like, I sent it to Triggs, I sent it to Cookie, you listen to it with Triggs, I've sent it to Calais, I've sent, you know what I'm saying? Who else? Kevin Philman at the BBC, like, my guy. I've sent it to different people, and they've all said it's my best body of work.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's definitely one of your best projects.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like,
fully behind that.
It's all written by me, it's all produced by me, mixed and mastered by me. Shout out to Kai Usher with GMG for the artwork.
Every time.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, it is my best piece of work. But to be fair, I feel like every project I do is my best piece of work.
Yeah, you do say
do you see what I'm saying?
That's what you're meant to feel, that when you just done it, that's my best body work until the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's why like guys like J.Ellis, like, they don't put albums all the time. Like,
nah.
That's my body of work. You can have that until I'm ready with the next one. You know what I mean?
But so. it is like the best, well-rounded. It's got everything. It's got bars. It's got stories.
I feel with this one, you're less Be Easy or Powers, and you're Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
But I just feel like it's more at peace. Not more at peace. It's more accepting of all the parts that make Be Easy. Do you understand? Like, so it's not trying to show you a narrative. It's just giving you the picture. You can make your own narrative based on what I'm saying, innit? Like, but it's production wise and lyrically and flows. Everything is my best piece of art. You see what I'm saying? So.
All right. So to wrap up the interview, where can we get the album? When is it dropping?
So.
All your socials.
The album's dropping. When I say this, it'll probably change, but probably June. Yeah. Probably June. I'm looking to drop it. June or July, yeah, like summer basically. It'll be available on all streaming platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Google. Not Google, Amazon. Yeah, Google Play. All right, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere you can get it online, everywhere. And probably on my Bandcamp, which I'll send all the details to my man and put it in the bottom.
Yeah, it'll be in the description on screens and stuff. It'll be there.
But yeah, follow me on TikTok. Yeah, Be Easy Wins. Follow me on Instagram. Be Easy Wins.
That's where you find it mostly.
That's where most of my stuff is. Like, and to be fair, the TikTok thing is building.
What's your YouTube?
The channel is
Be Easy Official, right?
Be Easy Official, so that's my channel, yeah, where I drop on my podcast, on my videos, all that. And that's another thing, I guess. A lot of my most recent content has been shot by me, filmed by me, or it's been filmed by someone else, but it goes on my channel because I've
got enough work on that channel.
Yeah, and it's not just about ownership. It's more now. Like, I've got over 1,000 subscribers, so.
Time to go live.
And it's building. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I have my audience now, which is building, and they'll come to me to look for certain things and know who I'm associated with, and they can drop things on there. It's not just about my things. Like, anyone who's cool with me could drop things on my channel. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's gonna be a platform for other people as well as me, just based on the content. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, all my socials will be in the bottom. Follow me and come on the journey, innit? Like, it's a journey, and like it's been building a long time and developing a long time, but now it's getting to a point where it's like people recognize the work ethic, and they recognize the consistency, and they recognize like the difference from what I do to what other people may do. You see what I'm saying? So that's what kind of separates me in that sense.
I feel like we're going through that kind of era anyway right now. Everyone seems to be recognising the levels of
and the thing is, I feel like with me as well, like I've never been someone who started at the top.
No.
Like, I've always been someone that was here, and I've had to build it. So, but with that, people have been able to like look at my older work and compare it to now and see the progress, and that's what people respect, innit? Like,
that's what I do like about your body of work.
Yeah.
You see the journey.
They'll see, like, at the beginning, I've always had talent, but that doesn't mean you're good.
No.
Like, you have to build it and put in time and do your 10,000 hours and all these different things, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, now I've done my 10,000 hours in production, I've done my 10,000 hours in rap and writing, but I still need to do my 10,000 hours in like videography and directing and like editing and the post editing. So those things, like I'm building those times up, but there are certain things now that I've done my 10,000 hours plus, and people can recognize that quality now. 100%. So it's about getting other things to that level of quality as well. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you heard it straight here first, yeah. This is Be Easy, and you're watching I on Bristol.
My God, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let's get out of it.